championship trophy in this rematch of last year's championship? Find out next on Spectrum Sports. Welcome to Nationwide Arena here in Columbus, where today it's the OHSAA Ice Hockey State Championship game between St. Ignatius and Toledo St. Francis. Hi, I'm Bob McElligott, joined by Jody Shelley here today, and this should be a great game. It is a rematch between the last two state champions. Let's take a look at the bracket and see how these two teams got here, coming out of the Final Four just yesterday. See, Toledo St. Francis de Sales with the victory over University School, and Dublin Jerome lost to St. Ignatius to put these two in this game. So, Jody, this is going to be just a fantastic matchup. It's always exciting for these players to get to a championship game.
Yeah, the state championship. Here it is. They played yesterday right here at Nationwide Arena. What a great facility. Both teams seem calm. Both organizations and schools have been here before, so not a lot of jitters, and both teams are excited. And I've talked to both coaches, and they both have a lot on the line here.
All right, let's take a look at the teams. We'll start with the visiting team today. That is the Wildcats of St. Ignatius.
Yeah, looking to be the second school ever to three-peat. Think about that. St. Ed's, their big rival, is the only other team that's three-peated, and they are the target tonight. They are the favorites as these teams come together. They've been the top seed almost all season long, so they're the number one coming in, and they're well-balanced attack. They've also got some good skating D-men. Now look out, they like to skate and they can attack.
All right, let's take a look at their star to watch for today, and that is going to be Bane Kurtz.
Yeah, this kid has got swagger. There he is. He is an 18-year-old senior captain, and boy, he's got some personality. 4 goals in yesterday's game. Think about that, 4 goals. He's all offense. His coach would like to play a little more defense, but hey, when you score 4 goals in one game, the best defense is offense.
There you go. Now let's take a look at Toledo St. Francis de Sales and what they're looking to do today.
Yeah, this is a team that's looking to get back in that state champion title, and they've got a balanced attack also. They were the champs in 2015. They're very, very familiar and comfortable with the opposition in St. Ignatius. Defensemen also step up with the play. Look out. This is a head-to-head matchup that's excellent.
Their star to watch here today is going to be forward Ben Mitchell.
Yeah, Ben Mitchell, he's an excellent player. His mom was a figure skater. His dad was a football player. There he is. He's an all-around athlete. He is also a senior, 18 years old, and he had 2 goals yesterday in the semifinal match. Offensive-minded. One thing about both of these teams, they have different guys to step up. Ben Mitchell wants to carry some weight, but they also have other weapons available.
So we're going to see what weapons prevail and for whom here today. Who is going to be the state champ in high school ice hockey? We're about to find out as we drop the puck on Spectrum Sports.
This city, this club, stands with you.
A hat trick of stops. John scores.
What you live for lives here. Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Crew SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Saturday on Spectrum Sports. Monday night, Dave Bacon and the boys sound off. Speak out and deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
We'll talk Indians, we'll talk Browns, we'll talk some Cavs.
Get key insight and expert analysis from the most informed voices in Ohio sports.
Something is wrong with the offensive play calling.
Armchair Quarterbacks, Monday nights on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
Getting set for the start of this championship game here today between Toledo St. Francis de Sales and St. Ignatius. Two teams that, as we've talked about, they know each other extremely well. They play each other all year. It's almost like a rite of spring for these two teams to come together in a state championship game. Let's take a look at the goaltenders in this one. We start with Benny Savarino of St. Ignatius. Jody wasn't all that busy yesterday, but he made the big saves when he had to.
You got to have that goaltending, and there's ebbs and flows throughout a game, and these goaltenders both understand going against an opposition that wants to put that puck always on net. So goaltender's key.
Let's take a look at the lineup for St. Ignatius as they get ready to go here today. And this is what they have. They've got Michael McCaffrey, Bain Kurtz, and Joey Trebenter up front. Michael Bain and Greg Langermeyer are the defensemen in today's game. Pat O'Rourke is the head coach. He's been with this program a long time, 21 years, and his 15th season as the head coach. He was at JV. He's been at varsity. He is a lifer with this program, and he loves it. Now we look on the other side at the starting goaltender for St. Francis de Sales out of Toledo, Jacob Coward. He's a little bit more busy yesterday, but again, solid in net.
Yeah, solid in net. He's a big boy. You can see he's ready for the challenge here. And, yeah, I like the way he played yesterday. I don't think he got tested very early.
Take a look at their lineup.
Took care of it.
Take a look at their lineup. Matthew Barrow, Nick Daly, and Gabe Barrow up front. Tim Morgan Jr., big shot from the blue line in. Matt Moskrop also back there. And their head coach, is Chris Varga behind that bench. He's brought this team to this state Final Four many times. It's his 6th season as the head coach, and he knows exactly what his team is in for here today. He'll be ready.
Starting all the seniors, and interesting to watch this team. He's got one player that was here for the 2015 state championship game. It's the centerman right now down there, Matthew Barrow.
Well, we are ready to go. The students are ready, and the puck is down. We're underway as Toledo St. Francis dumps the puck into the Ignatius end. First guy back there is Santino Pictatello, and tries to clear it out. They couldn't get it cleared out. Puck on the near wall now, and it's going to be moved up the boards by Michael Bain. And out to the neutral zone. St. Francis will dump it right back in. Quick line change for the Knights to get this game started. And they've got the puck over on the right wing boards. It's Ben Mitchell. He was a big star yesterday, scoring 2 goals. He stripped to the puck here, and it's very quickly picked up by Michael McCaffrey. As the Wildcats try to get it out using the boards, they'll do just that. Up the right wing side, they've got an opportunity here. Michael Bain puts the brakes on, and then he loses an edge, and he falls down.
Excellent defense early here by St. Francis. All 5 guys back to break up that play.
And now they wind up with a puck inside of the offensive zone. Player goes down, no penalty called, and here come the Wildcats, a chance to spring it back through the neutral zone again. And it's McCaffrey, centering attempt, and that one goes bouncing wide. Clay Gazdak couldn't get it on net. The Knights trying to get a rush going and have a little trouble getting out of their own zone. I think this is exactly what we're going to see all day. 2 teams, they love to skate. They're very good skaters. They attack, they're aggressive.
You know what we noticed yesterday, too? 2 very well-coached teams going head-to-head here in the final. Good structure, and like you said, the tempo. When you can play that structure, make those passes count, everything seems fast.
Ignatius flips the puck to the left wing corner, bouncing around behind the net. St. Francis trying to very quickly move it. They don't get it out, and that one was tipped on its way to the net, and the first big save for Jacob Coward here today.
Yeah, Coward there had to be alert. That was kind of a knuckle puck that came up and then down, and he just caught it right in his belly. And you can see for St. Ignatius, that's Aiden Conway. He's going to get this puck and just do one thing, and that's get it in the net. Sometimes those rolling pucks for the goaltenders give them the most trouble.
Face off in the right wing circle. St. Francis, Toledo wins that one, but they have a hard time getting out of the zone. Wildcats, good job on the forecheck here, putting the pressure on, and now with a chance to pick up the puck and possess it. This one all the way out to the blue line, bounced off the stick. As Aiden Conway couldn't control it, that allows the Knights to come on the counterattack. Chasing for the puck is Gabe Barrow. Goes around behind the net. And a lot of back and forth between these 2 teams. And again, when you have teams that attack and they're good at stick checking and they take away the play on the boards, that's going to happen all day.
Well, you can see before they get the puck, they take a peek and see what their options are. And that's a good sign of a confident group. You know, they practice. Each team gets 3 practice days a week, late nights after they go to school during the day. And you can tell they're both well-versed hockey teams.
Turnover in the neutral zone. And now because of an errant pass, Ben Mitchell will be able to throw this one back into the Ignatius end. Just let it go all the way around the boards and back out to the neutral zone, and that's where it is blasted right back in by Mitchell Digby. But again, transition game, and Wildcats can't get their shot through.
Yeah, Bain Kurtz tries to put that on net, but he takes a big hit right in front of the goaltender from Luke Kavanaugh.
Well, again, these teams see each other a lot throughout the course of a season, so they know all about Bain Kurtz and what he can do. They don't just have to look at the 4 goals from yesterday.
No, he draws attention with his personality, too, I think.
Yep, and here he comes up the right wing side, maybe setting somebody up. No, he'll shoot, and that one is caught. Coward with a nice save. We saw Bain Kurtz yesterday. Got the first goal of the game on a very similar shot. Coward was ready for it, makes a glove save.
Yeah, he's a right-handed shot coming down the right side here, and you're going to get a great look at this as he's got short side. He looks back, almost a fake, like he's going to pass. He's thinking shot the whole way there. Hits his spot, but excellent save by Coward.
Ignatius with a battle here on the near wall. Puck lifted in the air, bouncing to the blue line, and that one just getting out beyond the defenseman, Clay Gaston. They'll turn it back around. They have a chance to bring it right back in. Centering attempt and a backhanded shot, and that was Alex Bellardo. He had one goal in yesterday's semifinal game. Bellardo is a sneaky guy. He's a smaller player, but he always finds his spot on the ice.
He's got an edge, and he knows how to use his lack of size to his advantage. He's got quickness, and he seems to be always around that puck.
Big shot there from the left wing boards by Tim Morgan Jr. And there's Benny Savarino with his first save of the game. And tell you what, Tim Morgan Jr., when he gets the puck at the blue line, you had best be ready. He is going to shoot it. He's got a very heavy shot. He's got a very accurate shot as well.
Yeah, he's 5'11". He's a senior on this team. And left-handed shot from that left point. He wasted no time getting that on the goaltender.
Puck in the air, comes off a glove and bounces outside the blue line. The Knights reset, try to bring it back in. This one gets stolen away, but not for long. There's pressure everywhere on the ice, on both sides.
Not a lot of space, is there?
No. Up the near wall now. Joey Trobenter moving the puck ahead, puts it on the stick of Camden Kurtz. Kurtz losing control, and this is going to be a tipped puck. One official was saying an icing call. The other one said, nope, it got tipped, so no icing, and they continue to play. 10.5 to go here in the opening period. State championship game, 0-0 early on. St. Francis to Sale. Back out to the right point. That puck is kept in by Matthew Mostrow. Battle in the right wing corner. Coming out with it is Ben Mitchell. To the middle of the ice, and this one is swept away by the Wildcats.
Yeah, Wildcats there feeling a little bit of pressure. Almost got caught with too many men.
Here's Ben Mitchell, drags it through. One man shoots, and Severino gets a piece of that.
Nice read by Mitchell to lay that puck around the opposing defender and then jump on the other side and pick the puck up again.
Nice pass up the right wing side. Michael McCaffrey is in. Plays it to the blue line. Here it's settled down. Dane Kurtz tried to get his shot through. It didn't get there. It was cut off by Tim Morgan Jr. and he ices the puck.
Dane Kurtz getting a lot of attention. He's always showing a little, or he's already showing a little bit of frustration. Take a look at that last shot. Here's that move in the middle by Ben Mitchell. Excellent play, showing some skill. And then as he tries to get that shot away, he's so close to the net, the goaltender just has to lean to his right, close that only option. And the puck is saved and dumped into the corner.
Knights will play it behind their own net. Mitchell Digby over to the far side, able to avoid a forechecker and lift the puck out to the neutral zone. Will be carried in by Nick Daly. He takes a hit. Played in from the red line, and we've got a whistle here. Offside call.
Yeah, Nick Daly there trying to pursue that puck. He's got some speed. He's another senior. He started this game on that top line. And there's Charlie Klenker. Big man, too. There are a lot of big bodies down there. I love the quickness and the structure of this game right now. It's turned into a little bit of a chess match. And you would expect that early against two teams that know each other very well.
Good patience, dump it in. Severino just plays it aside for his defenseman, Greg Langermeyer. And here comes Bellardo. Good speed up the right side. Nice backhanded pass. Got by everybody, but not the defenseman. Shot gets blocked, however, as Gastak couldn't get it through. And Mitchell Digby tries to break it out. He didn't make the connection on the pass. Ben Mitchell trying to split the defense. Nice job there by Langermeyer. Just a good little play. Took his stick away. Never got that shot off. And Ignatius trying to clear the zone. The Knights able to knock that down, and they want to turn this into a scoring chance. Good battle here on the left wing boards. Coming out with it is Ignatius. Camden Kurtz up the left wing side, and a shot is taken on that left side by Aiden Millette. And a good save made by Jacob Coward.
Yeah, he's got a little snow on his sleeve there. They're coming in hard and stopping right in front of that crease, looking for a rebound, but no rebound in sight. This is the play up the ice. You can see the heads-up play over the line, and that shot gobbled up quickly.
bouncing puck. Ben Mitchell just overskated it. He'll pick it back up. Over the blue line he comes, takes the shot, and it deflected wide. Good job to get the stick in there by Aiden Conway. Ignatius plays it back up the right side. Kurtz will push it into the corner. Now over on the far wall. Toledo St. Francis, two-man rush. Here's a long shot. Severino with the save. And unable to get to that rebound was Jay Ostrander. Follow-up chance, and that one goes off the post.
That was Hunter McKee with that rebound play. Good job by that line. Defenseman up in the rush, too. And that was an excellent attack by St. Francis as they make their way up the ice. That line, Ostrander, Pavlicka. Big goal by him yesterday. He's a rookie. He's leading Ignatius in the he's leading St. Francis in playoffs with goals for their team. And he was in on the mix on that one.
Face off in the right wing circle. And Ignatius trying to tip that puck to the middle. Toledo St. Francis able to keep it in. Now it's Pignatello who lines up with a puck. He gets it out to the neutral zone. A hand pass is being called here.
Well, Bane Kurtz is getting moved around, and there's going to have new line mates all throughout this game. He's their ace, and there's a look at the goaltender for the St. Ignatius Wildcat. And a couple big saves there early. They're trying to attack him from every angle possible. Not a bad idea early in the game. We saw a couple teams yesterday overpassing early instead of taking opportunities to get the puck on net.
Michael Bain can't clear the zone. Shot toward the net. That one gets through. Severino, nice job to make sure that he kicked it past Gabe Barrow. And there's another shot toward the net, and Severino will cover it up this time as Matthew Barrow threw it on him.
A little pushing and shoving there. Nothing big after that whistle. You see the A on the jersey of the goaltender, Severino. I like that. Get some leadership in net. You know what? He's part of the team. I know a lot of teams don't put the letters on the goaltenders because they don't interact with the referees much, but it just shows this kid's a leader right there. He's just directing traffic in front of him.
And actually, that's false. They interact with the referees more than anybody.
Yeah, absolutely they do.
They're on the ice the entire time.
The entire game. If there's going to be one position where there's leadership, it should be the goaltender.
Tim Morgan Jr. couldn't get his shot on net from the near wall. Now Ben Mitchell, he takes a hit. Another shot gets blocked, and Ignatius has a chance to bring it out. That's what they do. Up the ice, 2-on-2 they come. Angling on the left wing side. Lyles trying to get it to the middle. That went off the defenseman's stick, and see Coward covering it up. And then a little bit of bad blood there as they felt that Ignatius got too close to the goalie.
Yeah, 15, David Strick's going to come into your screen here, and as he goes through there, drags that left foot, he draws the attention. And why not? You see Coward, he's making sure. You talk about communication with the ref.
I told you.
It's just setting it up for the next call. Quick change here by St. Francis. Defensive zone faceoff. They got Barrow out there to take it.
And he wins it. And this one cleared back into the neutral zone. Langenmeyer cuts it off. Good job to make sure his team resets. Quick shot, and that one is in for the score. Aiden Millette blasts it. It goes off the goaltender and into the net. And St. Ignatius has a 1-0 lead.
Well, good patience in the middle of the ice with the puck. And that's the key to this goal, is staying onside. And the turnover right in the neutral ice. Yeah, that one gets by Coward. He's going to tap from his teammates. Long shot taken by Aiden Millette. Surprised everybody. Well, that's why you shoot the puck from everywhere. That defensive zone faceoff does clear the zone, but as it does, how about the patience there in the middle of the ice, and that puck gets distributed by Langermeyer. Heads up play. What a shot by Millette, and it's 1-0 Ignatius.
And he was just not quite square to the shot. That's the difference. He's angled a little bit, it hits him, and then goes in. So, kind of a tough break.
That's why you shoot from everywhere, and you can see what St. Francis is doing now. That shot from long distance from Digby. Why not? That's going to happen. Let it happen to your team.
Pignatello up the near wall. It's cleared out to the neutral zone. Chance to create a 2-on-1. Here come the Wildcats. They throw it toward the front of the net. Couldn't get it to Bane Kurtz.
That was a nice play. Saucer pass around Digby, who tried to play that perfectly. He actually did. And it's funny to watch Kurtz. He gets a lot of attention from the opposition behind the play, after the whistle. Here's a look at this play. Heads up pass. You see how Digby played it. He just laid out there. Mitchell Digby, good job defensively, and that forced that puck to get past just a little too far ahead of Bane Kurtz.
Now they'll drop the puck again here. They'll false face off. Alex Bilardo out there again in the middle of this line.
Yeah, look at number 9 for Ignatius. He's just staggered a little bit here. He's in a shot profile. If that draw was won, it's not going to happen, so he's on the forecheck.
That's Eric Lyle. He had a goal in yesterday's semifinal game. Ignatius tags up, and Tim Morgan Jr. tries to clear his own zone. He fired that one up into the stands.
You're allowed to do that here and not get a penalty.
.548 to go here in this first period. Ignatius drawing first blood. Bilardo set to take another face-off. See, they put Lyle on the other side now. Still don't win the face-off, so Toledo St. Francis has a chance to clear it out, and they do.
Yeah, a couple different looks on that offensive zone draw. It was almost like Bilardo there just went ahead with the puck and tried to chase it down.
Tim Morgan Jr. just shrugged off Greg Langermeyer there and plays the puck deep into the Wildcats' end. St. Ignatius starting the breakout. St. Francis with a line change. And up the right side, they'll bring it in. And unable to get through the defense was Langermeyer there. He was trying to go coast to coast.
Yeah, pretty good skater.
Outlet pass on the left wing side. Carried in here by Daly, and then loses control. Back the other way it goes. Icing is the call.
Yeah, they tried to tip that at center ice with speed. Didn't catch that right. So it will come back in St. Ignatius end. Offensive zone face-off here now for the Knights. Let's see if they can get something generated. Been a great start to this game. Both teams playing very well. But just that one shot from a long distance that beat Jacob Coward gives Ignatius the lead.
You talked about balance. Yeah. 8 shots for one team, 5 for the other team. Good physical play in this game early on. And this one sent back into the Toledo St. Francis zone. It didn't go far enough for Icing. Mitchell Digby sending the puck on the far wall. He was looking to hit Ben Mitchell. He was hoping he could hit him in stride. That didn't happen. Here's a shot from the high slot, and that one deflects wide.
I remember yesterday, Ignatius, they take the walls away. They did that against Dublin Jerome all game long. We'll look for DeSales, St. Francis DeSales Knights to correct that. Try to get that puck in the middle of the ice with speed in their own end and get out. That's a critical part of their game now.
And Mitchell using his speed right now, but he loses control in the neutral zone. McCaffrey takes it back the other way. Here comes Kurtz. Walks in, shoots, the save is made. Rebound. He tried to get it himself, and he just drug it wide. Kurtz to the far corner. Gets knocked down. Ignatius still has the puck. Backhanded centering feed off a skate, and now it will be cleared by the Knights.
Well, that was a huge hit in the neutral ice, and then Bane Kurtz with an opportunity and that rebound. But excellent job by Coward with 2 big saves.
Nick Coward circling behind his own net. Number 22 tries to take it out. He overskated, lost control, and here's Bane Kurtz. Back to the high slot. They will get a shot. It gets blocked. Follow-up chance, and a good job right there by Jacob Coward. Took it off the right arm and sent it over the crossbar. And now back the other way on the counterattack. Matthew Snyder with a chance, and he shot it wide. He tried to get it inside the far post. Next shot gets intercepted. Uh-oh, here comes a breakaway. Up the ice, McCaffrey in with a shot. The save was made. Nice job by Mostrop coming back there.
Yeah, that was huge. Bad line change for the Knights, and they get caught in between, and that was a partial break. Partial because of Mostrop.
Now shot toward the net by Snyder. That one's tipped away. Ostrander going to the far wall, plays it to the end boards. Ignatius gets it and moves it up the near side. Back across the ice it goes. Slowed that play down a little bit. They'll just dump it in from the red line. Toledo St. Francis started a line change and got some 1 or 2 new personnel out there. Puck is kept inside of their zone, however. Charlie Klenkar got it out to the far point. Langermeyer keeps it in. Good steal here by Bilardo. It's just about keeping the play alive in the zone. They've been able to do that. Now it's finally going to be lifted into the bench. And that'll stop the clock with 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining here in period number 1.
There's a big man, Jay Ostrander. I like that line with him and Pavlika and Hunter McKee. They've contributed yesterday a couple times.
In the upcoming first intermission report, we'll hear from one of today's head coaches. Plus, visit with Jerry Snodgrass of the OHSAA. Marissa Contepelli is here with us today. She'll be talking with Chris Varga, the head coach. You know, it's going to be Dr. Dan Ross that is here from the OHSAA, so she will talk with him. He's a man is stepping away from his post running this organization very soon, so it'll be great to hear from him. Puck on the near wall, and the Knights get it out, and they've got a chance as they come up the left wing side. Try to slide it to the middle, and that one is cut off.
2 plays there cut off, trying to go to the middle of the ice.
Now here's a centering attempt, walking in, shooting it, just missing was Pignatello. Defenseman up on the play there.
Wow, that started right at the goal line of the Ignatius Wildcats, and as they make their way, it's give and go time. What a backhand pass to the middle of the ice. And Pignatello, as he picks up that puck and he rips it, looks like it went wide, but with authority all the way up the ice were the Wildcats.
I think for the Toledo St. Francis DeSales Knights, they need to get in and get some sustained pressure. That's what they haven't been able to do. They've been backed up in their zone. They've watched Ignatius skate around and get some shots toward the net. They haven't had the sustained pressure yet.
Well, they're working.
Here's Snyder. He has a chance, and he couldn't get it through the 5-hole off the backhand.
It's a lot of one and done, and when they do get down there, they're trying to pass to the middle of the ice, and Ignatius does a nice job in the middle of the ice, waiting and anticipating those passes, breaking them up, and then coming out of the zone immediately. And this play to the middle, impressive pull by Matthew Schneider, and then Nick Coward, he knows where to go. That puck is on the net. You go for that rebound, but right there, no chance of a rebound, as Benny Savarino just locks it down. It could be a penalty here. A penalty to Ignatius.
And St. Francis is going to wind up with a power play.
It's going to be a hook right in front of the net.
So here's the opportunity for the Knights to get this back to an even game. They trail 1-0. They lose control of the puck, but they are going to get it back. Out to the right point. Digby skates it in, shoots, and Savarino makes that save.
Well, contact in front of the net, and it's with the goaltender. And it's big number 3, Jay Ostrander. He's down in front for St. Francis, providing a screen. And as he gets in the crease, it's an automatic whistle. And now the faceoff is brought outside of the zone. So just as you were talking about sustained pressure, they get it on the power play. Here it is. Now look on the left side of your screen. He makes contact with the goalie. The whistle goes. The referee points. Faceoff outside.
Tim Morgan Jr. sends it to the left wing corner. Pignatello can't clear it out. Morgan Jr. with it again. Takes a shot, save made. There's a rebound. And Savarino with a save. A big scrum and a score. Just too many bodies to account for there. And the St. Francis DeSales Knights are on the board.
Yeah, it looked like Matthew Barrow was in there. Gabe Barrow was in there. It was just a pile of bodies. Excellent job. As you see, Chris Varga positive on his team. Ostrander right in front of the net, big number 3. And then from there, as he gets out of the way, Gabe Barrow is there, Ostrander is there, Matthew Barrow is there, and it's a celebration as they work. As that puck was laying there, this could be under review. Well, huge moment. Looked like it might have been brought in by their own player.
Yeah, Ostrander had his stick stuck into the crease there and into the goaltender, trying to jar that loose, and then one of the Ignatius players went sliding into the net, and yes, may have carried that puck in with him.
Well, the referee was in perfect position not to blow that whistle and try to keep the play alive. It looked like the goaltender had the puck. We'll take another look. Here's the shot. You see that puck still well out of the crease. Now as it goes into the net by Barrow, And that one player that jumped behind the goaltender, Benny Savarino, seemed like he pushed the puck in the net. He's still in there, sitting down, looking at the referee.
Well, there is a video replay official, but they have counted this as a goal, and it's a 1-1 game.
How about that? The referee's in good sight. Let that play continue. Yeah, it looked like confusion. So we got a tie game.
So back to 5-on-5 after the power play goal. Under a minute to go here in the opening period as Ben Mitchell can't clear his own zone. But Ignatius can't control the puck either.
Good play there by Tim Morgan Jr. Found that puck and just got the puck out of the middle of the ice as Ignatius was jumping on a turnover.
The shot that tips off a stick. So they give it to Matthew Barrow from Tim Morgan Jr. That's how the goal is recorded. 1-1 game, and now we have an icing call with 32 seconds remaining.
We knew it was one of those three guys in the crease, right?
Right.
I mean, that was, you're taught as a kid, play till the whistle blows, and that's exactly what they did. Puck's alive, no whistle, you keep going until that puck's in the back of the net. And I think they got a bounce off of an Ignatius defender. Might have been Gazdak trying to save the day. But tied up late here on a power play, St. Francis and Ignatius.
And St. Francis wins the faceoff. Out to the neutral zone, glove down by Ignatius. St. Francis takes it back. And here's Matthew Barrow already with a goal. Gets knocked down. Langermeyer with a good check there. Puck out to the right point. Digby with a shot. Save made. And oh, what a good defensive play by Gazdak to tie up his man, or there would have been a second shot.
Yeah, Gabe Barrow there just got tied up, or else he had that empty net.
And so the first period is going to come to an end in this state championship game. It was St. Ignatius getting on the board first, and St. Francis late in the period with a power play opportunity, able to tie it at 1. Marissa Contepelli will talk with Chris Varga, the head coach of St. Francis de Sales out of Toledo, as we get to the intermission. All time at 1.
Your teams, your schools, what you live for lives here.
It's delivered with the right hand. With authority. Score drive to the hole.
Whether it's across town or across the region, we are the home of Ohio sports. We are Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. Tuesday nights are for Ohio college basketball. Spectrum Sports is teaming up with your favorite site where Ohio State fans gather. 11 Warriors Report. Join the pros from 11 Warriors as they preview the week ahead and deliver everything Scarlet and Gray fans need to know. 11 Warriors Report. Tuesday nights. Only on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
Well,
Welcome back to Nationwide Arena, where St. Ignatius and St. Francis de Sales are tied at 1 after the first period of play. Joining me now is St. Francis de Sales head coach Chris Varga. Coach, the Wildcats scored first in that quarter, but you were able to get a big goal right before the period ended on a power play. How important was that heading into the locker room?
Well, you know, you can tie up a game in the end of a period. That just switches the momentum. They had it there for a while, and as you can see, we started putting more pressure on them after that goal. So now the kids know they can score, so hopefully we can do it again.
Now, St. Ignatius is a team that you're very familiar with. Is this what you expected out of them in the first period?
Well, yeah, all year they've been ranked number 1, and we've been ranked number 2, so we knew it was going to be a war right off the bat. So we just got to win all the little battles and hopefully come out on top.
Now, outside of allowing that go, goaltender Jacob Coward has really been locked in for you guys. What have you liked out of the focus he has shown?
Well, the one thing I do like about him, he doesn't get over emotional when like that was a bad goal. He should have had it, but it went in. He let it go. As you can see, they had a couple other shots. He was focused. He's ready. He's squaring up. And that's what you want out of a goalie.
Now, another key guy who has been getting production for you has been Ben Mitchell. Has had a couple of nice chances for you. What have you liked out of his line?
Well, I like how they can move the puck. They're fast, they're quick, they're a little shifty. They just got to, shoot more shots, take more shots, I should say, and keep working hard.
Tied at 1 with 2 periods left to play. What are you going to be telling your guys in the locker room?
Take it easy. This is a game. We've been here 500 times in your life. It's just another game. I know there's more on the line, but treat it like a game and worry about the last 2 minutes and first 2 minutes of every period, and everything else will take care of itself.
Coach, we appreciate you spending some time with us. St. Ignatius, St. Francis de Sales tied at 1 heading into the second period of play. When we return, OHSAA Executive Director Dan Ross will join me.
Weeknights.
Come on, you don't know.
Are for the self-proclaimed boys of truth and reason.
Hello? What, you've never been on a talk show?
At 6, Lesson Company break down the night in sports live, taking your calls and battling the ridiculous.
LeBron, I'm just reading you what Bob is writing.
More sports and less Levine, Monday through Thursday night at 6 on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum.
There are two kind of coaches, those that have been fired and those that are going to get fired.
Here I am, I'm the big man on campus, and comes this new coach. And the first day of practice, he kicks me out.
Can you even describe what it's like to go 240 miles an hour?
Every day, there's something that happens that'll make me think about Woody Hayes.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How would you not love him?
There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
We are back with you here at Nationwide Arena after the first period of play. St. Ignatius, St. Francis de Sales tied at 1. Joining me now is OHSAA Executive Director Dr. Dan Ross. And Dr. Ross, a lot of excitement here with the boys ice hockey being played at Nationwide Arena, but this is a big weekend for tournaments across a lot of high school sports. Can you tell us what else is happening this weekend?
Well, this morning we started with state bowling, and that started at 8:30. We have this afternoon. We have state wrestling. We have district boys basketball, and we have regional girls basketball all today. So it's been the whole weekend's been busy, but today is just jam-packed. And it's wonderful because you have the opportunity to see a whole lot of kids do very well and have the opportunity to excel in their chosen sport, whether it be bowling or whether it be basketball or ice hockey.
Well, in terms of ice hockey, I know both the teams and players are really excited to be playing here at Nationwide Arena. Can you tell us a little bit about the partnership between the OHSAA and the management staffs of both the Blue Jackets and Nationwide Arena?
Well, we are really, really blessed because I don't know whether there's another better hockey partner in the country than we have with the Blue Jackets. Our teams and our kids absolutely love coming here. This is an event and an experience that they will remember every day for the rest of their life. And the Blue Jackets work with us to make sure that every piece of this, from the time they leave home till the time they get home, is exquisite. And they do a great job of doing that.
Now, this is the first year of a new 10-year deal with Nationwide Arena and the OHSAA to have the state hockey finals here. Can you tell us just why this is so important?
Well, we want hockey to continue to grow. And when you have an opportunity to watch young kids out here saying, I just love coming here, I want to play here, I love coming here. My dad brought me. He's been bringing me the SCI winner. He said 15 years ago he was over there, and he said, I just want to bring my team here. His son is sitting right behind the glass. They want to be a part of this experience. And if you're going to grow hockey, there's not a better place to ever do that than right here.
Well, Dr. Ross, we certainly appreciate you spending some time with us today, and we will get the chance to talk to you more when the boys basketball state tournament rolls around in just a few short weeks. Well, we still have a lot of hockey coming up here on Spectrum Sports. When we return, we will send it back over to Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley. Stay with us on Spectrum Sports.
This city, this club, stands with you.
Trick of stops. John scores.
What you live for lives here. Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Crew SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Saturday on Spectrum Sports. Monday night, Dave Bacon and the boys sound off. Speak out and deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
We'll talk Indians, we'll talk Browns, we'll talk some Cavs.
Get key insight and expert analysis from the most informed voices in Ohio sports.
Something is wrong with the offensive play calling.
Armchair Quarterbacks. Monday nights on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision-makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
1-1 at the end of one period of play here at Nationwide Arena. Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley with you. State championship game. The St. Francis Knights out of Toledo playing against the Wildcats of St. Ignatius from Cleveland here. And what a first period that was, Jody Shelley.
It was even, wasn't it? Of course it was. 1-1 period. Both teams coming out with energy, then structure. A weak goal let in by the goaltender Barrow. But yeah, at the end it ended up. This was an early opportunity for Bane Kurtz, one of the guys we highlighted. He had a short side opportunity there. Oh, what a move by Ben Mitchell. Another player we highlighted. He's with St. Francis Knights. And here was the goal. Big shot by Aiden Millette, and that put Ignatius up 1-0. Excellent play to keep it onside. This is another opportunity. Big save there by Jacob Coward for the Knights, and that was a huge moment. And for him to get his footing back after that bad goal. And then opportunity at the other end. It goes in the net. Look at the pile, the attitude of those guys in front. And that was big Gabe Barrow on the the doorstep. So some good action, some good plays. How about the saves and the refocus of the goaltender, Jake Coward? His coach just talked about that in the hallway just moments ago.
And he talked about that, Coward, the goaltender, and how the first goal was a bad goal.
Yep.
And how he came back and you saw him make that big save against Kurtz a little bit later in the period. So, and that's really what you have to be as a goaltender. You can't never feel too good. You can never feel too bad. There's always going to be another opportunity.
Yeah, but you just got to be able to refocus. And I guess that's exactly what this kid does. It just shrugs it off. And in a state championship game, that's exactly what you want to do. You know what? There's a lot of hockey left. Let a bad goal in, refocus, and I think your team feeds off that. You know, you get confidence as an individual player, especially a goaltender, and when you show, hey, I'm back, I'm good, I'm going to lock it down, then the team gets a little less defensive and offensive-minded, and that's why they went down and tied it up.
Well, again, it should be no surprise that this game is so close. Chris Vargan just said during the intermission, all year Ignatius was #1 and St. Francis was #2, so they pretty much knew they were ticketed for this game. Unless somebody stubbed their toe along the way, they knew they were going to be meeting in this game for this.
Yeah, they knew it, and they're very familiar with it, and you know, it's Cleveland, it's Toledo. There's two teams that play. You know, Toledo plays 5 teams they think that it can be competitive with in their area. They got to go to Detroit to play some of the big teams, and so does St. Ignatius. There's the rankings right there for the OHSAA coaches poll. And you see who's at the top. And University School Osto yesterday, #5, Dublin Jerome. But Ignatius with 100 points. A program that's, well, we set it off the top. Looking to go for the trifecta, 3 in a row as state champs. And right now, they are tied with #2, St. Francis de Sales.
And in the second period, is anything going to change in this game? I mean, we saw them attacking each other, and I would imagine that's going to continue. What adjustments are going to be made, or do you expect to be made along the boards or in the middle of the ice?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think most of the changes will become between the lines. You know, both coaches have 4 lines of forwards and 3 sets of D. And I think the adjustments, you don't want to adjust too much defensively right now. You're in the state finals. You don't want your players thinking too much. Slight adjustments with clientele on the ice, maybe a matchup or 2. But if you can ask your players, your advanced players, to make a certain play or a small play to the middle, that's good, because if the walls are taken away, you're going to get frustrated with trying to exit your zone, and then that opportunity with deep defensive zone pressure on you, that's going to lead to mistakes. So, yeah, there might be a slight adjustment, I would say, for St. Francis coming out of their own end to play the puck to the middle, but I would not overthink that and put too much on your players.
Here you take a look at back-to-back championships. St. Ignatius right there in 2016 and 17. St. Ed's 2004 and 5. Go down to Bowling Green back in the late 90s. And St. Ed's with the only 3-peat. There you see it, 94, 95, 96. And you know, a lot of St. Edward on that list, but St. Ignatius has taken that spot basically and edging out the rival, now having a chance to equal that only 3-peat in the history of this sport.
And St. Francis is trying to get back in there. I mean, they're trying to get back in the mix, and that's what you do. Yeah, these are back-to-back champs. And how often you get to go back-to-back, let alone take a run at a 3-peat? You've got to have something in your seniors and something going on with the coaches, and that they really do. St. Ignatius is a heck of a school and a program.
It is, and some of these athletes on this hockey team also play lacrosse, and they were state champs in lacrosse last spring as well. So you have some guys that they're taking a lot of hardware out of their high school career.
Right?
Yes, they are. And there's a lot to be said for that, no doubt.
No question. When you learn how to win, it's a good thing. And when you're in a locker room with players, think about the new players that are in St. Ignatius this year. Okay, you're with back-to-back state champs. A lot of these guys, it's infectious how they play.
There's a lot of expectation, and they've lived up to their expectation throughout the years. Second period underway, and Ignatius with the puck in the St. Francis Toledo zone. Knights try to clear it out, couldn't on the first try. The second try they will. And this one is tipped back into the zone, and Andrew Denk goes to get it, quickly moves it around the boards. Cut off in neutral ice. And now played ahead. Here's Bain Kurtz with a shot, and the save is made by Coward. And that is a great example about making those adjustments that you talked about. Another long shot. This time he's very square to the shot. Not only does he make the save, he controls the rebound and gets a face-off.
Yeah, impressive by Kurtz there, number 11. You're taking a look at him as he heads back to his bench. You know, he's drawing a lot of attention, obviously. He's not only scoring 4 goals yesterday, but that's the way he plays. But he's finding ways to get shots off. It speaks to his skill level.
Puck on the near wall. Matthew Snyder trying to move it ahead. It doesn't come out. Now in a second effort. The Knights will get it out of the zone, and Snyder very slow in getting up.
He just took a huge hit from Langermeyer.
And he's not moving very hard at all. And probably needs to start heading over to the bench when he gets the opportunity. No, now all of a sudden he jumps back into the play, and he's at full speed.
Oh, and he throws a pretty good cross check on the man who laid him out, Langermeyer. Oh.
And we get a whistle. These two go at it. And Snyder gets up in the face of Langermeyer and takes him down.
Langermeyer looked like he went down a little easily there, but there was something that happened right in the middle of the ice.
Yeah, Ben Mitchell is down there. He is just getting up off the ice.
Yeah, there was a little altercation there. I didn't see what happened. But there's a look at Ben Mitchell. Just collecting himself, and it was behind the play. We didn't get to see that altercation, but it all started with a big hit laid by Langermeyer on Matthew Snyder. It got chippy through the neutral zone, and everyone looks to be fine, but Ben Mitchell is the one that caused the whistle as he was in
and this one dumped into the Ignatius zone. Moved around to the near wall, and Toledo St. Francis will push it back along the end boards. They have nobody there, and it's very quickly rimmed around the boards and back out. Will not go far enough, or it is not ruled an icing call here. So Ignatius hustles back and tries to get something set up. They will. There's a shot, and that one got blocked. Trying to corral that puck for yet another opportunity. And Andrew Millette, he's got the 1 goal for St. Ignatius. Couldn't keep the puck on his stick, and now it's going to be Nick Daly to bring it back the other way. Daly up the left side, plays it in from the red line. Now goes chasing. Around behind the net, Gabe Barrow coming to the near boards. Again, Ignatius gets to it first, and they clear it outside the blue line. Delayed offside, everyone tags up, and play continues. Here's a turnover. Couldn't turn that into an opportunity, however.
No, Herbs with that pass gets intercepted.
Here's a centering attempt, and Ostrander got that one on the wrong side. He caught it on the backhand and didn't get his shot accurately put on net. Now Millette back up the ice. Good little poke check there by the defenseman, Mitchell Digby. And that allows the Knights to come back up over the red line, and Ostrander will throw it in, and Severino sees what's developing here, and he just freezes the puck for a faceoff.
Yeah, not much going on to start this period. More chippy play through the neutral zone. But defensively, couple errors, just a couple turnovers, but the goaltender is there, and you know that's their job. Bail out those plays in front of them. Be that last line of defense, make the big save. And here's Bain Kurtz who wins that faceoff.
Puck around the boards, and Ignatius intercepts and get it to Kurtz in the middle of the ice. He'll pass it on the left side. They might go back to him, and they do. Kurtz couldn't get his backhanded shot away. That's a good defensive play by Tim Morgan Jr. Now Ben Mitchell has his pass picked off. Nick Coward will follow that up by intercepting one and dumping it in.
You gotta like the way Pignatello stood on the line there, just confronted the Knights as they're trying to get in the offensive zone.
Kurtz throws one off the backhand toward the net. Kind of an innocent little shot there. Hustle up the near wall, and keeping that one in is Andrew Dank. Puck off the far boards. Pignatello with a shot. That one off the blocker pad of the goaltender Coward. And a long rebound. Came out to the neutral zone, and there's not just pushing and shoving. There's a punch thrown right in front of the penalty box, and there's a penalty coming. This will be against St. Ignatius.
It's a retaliatory penalty here, and drawing all the attention. In the middle of the ice is Matthew Snyder, 19, and there is a great look at it. Our camera crew sticking with 19 as he was the subject of a lot of attention just moments ago. And Klinkner Oh, no. Yes, it is. Number 18 right there. Andrew Dink. Retaliatory left-hand jab to the face of Snyder, and he's going to sit.
Now this is dangerous because Toledo St. Francis got their only goal on the power play. And they're on the power play again.
Really their only sustained zone time.
Here's Digby with a big shot, and he scores! Mitchell Digby from the blue line gives the Knights a 2-1 lead.
I love how the goalie comes in to celebrate this goal. I love it. And he also has something to say. Jacob Coward comes right in and celebrates. And what a shot off the face-off. Yeah, enjoy it. Mitchell Digby, that's a heck of a shot through traffic. Thought the face-off battle won back high, and there, net front presence by big number 3, Jay Ostrander. And team play on the wall. Barrow wins the battle, gets it back to Digby. He's got a screen, and from there, he knows exactly what to do with it. And Bob, you called it. Stay out of the box against St. Francis Knights.
If you want to get back in a team, the best way to do it is score a power play goal when they have put themselves in a prone position. That's exactly what happened.
Well, Snyder knew what he was getting into there. He took a big hit. He didn't retaliate. And then he knew he was going to draw more attention. He took advantage and drew a penalty.
Matthew Barrow gets the assist. He won the face-off and drew the puck back there. Now it's Toledo St. Francis with another shot. That one sails wide right. On the near wall, T.Gali losing control of the puck. Langermeyer, who, by the way, just because of his physical play, is going to be looked for on the ice here today. There's no doubt. Icing call.
That was a quick work by the power play. And you see Nick Coward there. And now Ignatius, for the first time today, behind by 1. Defensive zone faceoff to Benny Savarino's left.
Dank tries to clear, couldn't. Shot toward the net gets blocked. And now Dank will play it to the middle of the ice. Carrying is Charlie Klinkart. Long shot, save is made. Bit of a rebound there, but it's lifted back out. And look out, here comes Toledo St. Francis up the left side, man in the middle, and they couldn't get it to Nick Coward, who was driving the net.
Excellent play defensively there by Dank. Just lays out, breaks up the 2-on-1 by himself.
Pignatello gets hammered at the blue line as he tried to carry it in. I'm talking about an offensive defenseman. How about Santino Pignatello? He is up on the play almost every time he's on the ice.
Great skater, too. He's not afraid to jump in. He got involved yesterday in a goal in the semifinal game. He's got a good shot. Just moments ago, he let it fly and went over the net. Just a little too high. If he can rein that in a little bit, look out.
Comes T.Gali back on the ice for the Knights. Face off in this left wing circle here after the icing call.
They're sticking with that top line, and why not? Barrow, Dave Barrow, Matthew Barrow, they're cousins, and T.Gali. And remember, 11 Matthew Barrow is the only member of this team that was on the 2015 Toledo St. Francis.
Here's a chance in front and a score. Camden Kurtz winds up with a puck in a great spot, and he buries it to tie the game at 2.
Well, just like that, attack from the wall, and it's a celebration right in front of their student section. And this is the type of game you have when you've got the number 1 and the number 2 ranked teams going at it for the state championship. Here's the wall battle, heads up play, all by himself, sitting on the back door. What a play to Kurtz. Kurtz is there, right-handed shot, takes his time, no chance for the goaltender, Coward. And then celebration ensues. Kurtz is a sophomore, and you can see he plays on the third line, and that third line chips in for St. Ignatius.
And Digby was right in front. I don't know if that puck hit him or if he got turned around, but he couldn't make the defensive play. Here's another shot from the right wing circle, and Coward with big glove save there. But that's a good response by St. Ignatius after giving up the power play goal to come right back and tie the game again.
How about Trebenter with that quick play? I mean, he's the guy on the wall that spun and got that puck through that area. And I think that's what fooled Digby, who tried to play that puck. But as he looked up, he couldn't believe it had already gone past him.
Puck on the half wall, left wing side. Bain sends it to the net. Oh, there was a chance for Bain Kurtz. A little bit of a stick lift there by Ben Mitchell, who now has the puck, puts it on the right wing side. Ignatius was looking for an offside call. They didn't get one. They will get the puck and try to move it out of the zone. And Bain Kurtz is going to carry it. Up the ice he comes on the right wing side. Kurtz shooting, and the save is made by Coward. Bouncing puck. Kurtz taken out of the play, and Toledo St. Francis got it to the red line, and Langermeyer is going to bring it back in. Langermeyer gets in deep, looking for a bit of help. Turns it over here to McCaffrey. Takes a hit behind the net. And the puck back to the red line and dumped in again. It is fun to watch rivals play, isn't it?
Especially when their schools are represented.
This one brings some emotion. Sure does. That would have been an offside play. And trying to get back and reset was Brody Pavlicka. Turns into an icing call.
There's Dank, who took that penalty earlier and allowed St. Francis to get that 1-goal lead. But he made a big play defensively just moments before Ignatius tied it up. It's funny how games work. Sometimes you feel like you're the GOAT. The next thing you make a big play and get back out there. And he's a big player for that team. So got to stick with it. I think that's the theme of the day.
Here's an opportunity again in front. Coward with a huge save as Klenkar was trying to get on the board. Bouncing puck now. Toledo St. Francis settles it down, and they'll at least get it out to center ice. Boy, Ignatius has been energized by that goal. And they get in deep again. Pignatello throws it in front, a bouncing puck. And the Knights clear it away. Pignatello with another shot, and he just sailed it wide. Battle on the near wall now. Klenkar trying to keep it in the zone. He did that initially, and now Toledo St. Francis will chip it up the boards. Ben Mitchell chasing. He's got it, and he loses an edge, and he goes into the boards. That was all on his own. A little bit slow in getting up and getting over to the bench.
Yeah, that's dangerous when you see those skates going to the wall like that. He's where high ankle sprains come from, but he did skate under his own will over to the bench.
Now it's Nick Coward on the left side. Matthew Snyder gets it back to Coward. He didn't have time to make a play as he got dumped. There's a shot, and that one just missed the net. That was Trebenter that threw out that big check.
That was huge.
And now
unsuspecting.
Now Trebenter with the puck again.
Oh, Digby there.
Digby and his man get together and
throwing the weight around.
Yeah, Cameron Kurtz, who just scored the last goal. He's the guy that went down. He's back up and into the play.
Yeah, really nobody turns up the opportunity to lay a hit. And we just saw Conway who just moved the puck there.
There's Digby with another shot. This time, Savarino is in position to make the save.
Yeah, no one in front of him. Good save, and there's the head coach of Ignatius, Mr. O'Rourke. Here's the check. You can see the play in front. And Millette is just kind of looking for support. It's not just one body, it's two that go down. Physical play. Actually, it was a good play by St. Francis to stick with that. And the defense got a pretty good shot.
Hey, Nick Coward knew it was coming. He turned around, he saw the man coming. He calmly played the puck away and then was ready for that guy to finish off his check. Play on the right side. McCaffrey with a shot. And there's Jacob Coward making the save.
A routine save for Coward there. And we've seen that a few times, so he just gobbles it up. And there's Bain Kurtz. We talked about him coming into this game. Of course, you've got to focus on him. But you know what he's good at? When he does get the attention, he can still find the open man. So that's one thing you got to figure out. If they're trying to take you away, there's going to be somebody open.
Oh, Kurtz right off the face-off sends a bouncing puck to the net.
And he faked like he was going to bring that backwards, and once he got tied up, he used his leverage. They get that puck in on the goaltender, Coward.
6:37 to go here in the second period. Kurtz again tried to drag it around the man he was facing off against. Couldn't get that done. And now up the ice comes Barrow. Throws it back to Ben Mitchell. It's picked off, and Langermeyer will start the attack 3-on-2. Hands it off to Bane Kurtz. Mitchell Digby got there. Kurtz leaves it. And now receives a pass to the left of the net. Tries to stuff it home. He had 2 chances, and Coward made the save both times.
Okay, Barrow coming right in and making sure he got a good lick on him, Bane Kurtz, because Bane was standing right over the goaltender. And that was a free shot. No call on that play. Odd man rush created because all 3 forwards for Toledo St. Francis ended up attacking and going behind the net, and that allowed St. Ignatius to attack, and then that was the big push. The look on number 11, Bane Kurtz's face as he looked up at the ref like, really? No call?
State championship game, son.
Yeah.
Tell you what, he had 2 pretty good shots there. Coward did a nice job of keeping the pad flush to the ice there, because if you don't have it that way, that one gets through. Here's a shot that gets blocked. Pignatello fires one toward the net, deflects behind.
You're right, and those plays they look like nothing plays. You're just kind of waiting for the goalie to freeze the puck. But he was in good position.
Snyder goes chasing. Pignatello gets to the puck first. I really like his poise. He gets
Pignatello?
that. He gets that puck. He knows he's got pressure off the backside, and he just calmly goes with a backhander all the way across the ice to get it out of the zone.
You know, I think you get confidence from skill and experience, and he's a player with great skating ability. You can definitely get confidence from that, and he's a senior. You know, you've been here before. He knows what he's doing. He's aware of his position and how to be effective, and I think players that know their role are very well in their role can shine because they know when to be effective, and he's very good at that.
Delayed offside, so Ignatius tags up. Puck is up the ice. This will be an icing call, as Toledo St. Francis was trying to go with the long pass off the glass and spring somebody free. Didn't work out.
Yeah, not a bad play. There's been a lot of defensive zone pressure on St. Francis in this period. I don't mind the stretch pass, especially off the faceoff. You got to rock back and forth, and right now they need to rock forward here and play down in Ignatius' hand.
Here's a quick shot, and that one's blocked. Tim Organ Jr. off the backhand lifts it out to the neutral zone and sent back in. Yeah, and exactly what you're talking about here. Ignatius really kind of cutting the ice surface in half, picking off a lot of passes by the red line and sending them right back in.
Yeah, they're not backing up, and that's a sign of a confident team too. I mean, you back up and wait for your opportunities the other way, you're really going to get no flow. But Ignatius is on the attack even when they're playing defense.
Now here's an opportunity for Snyder. Long shot, and getting a piece of that was Savarino. Ostrander lets his teammate step up there. Hunter McKee to play the puck around behind the net. Now over to the near wall. Aiden Millette out to the right point. Ostrander keeps it in. Ostrander was covering up there for Mitchell Digby, who is in deep on the play. And now here comes Ignatius trying to get a 2-on-1 going. Millette with a backhanded shot and it sailed wide. And now the quick counterattack by the Knights. Long shot. McKee puts it on net. Savarino confident. Just let it sit there, allowing his teammates to clear it away from the front of the goal. Another chance for a 2-on-1. He's carrying is Charlie Erbs. He holds. He shoots it and deflected off the stick. Nice play there to get the stick in the shooting lane, and that was Shelnick. Nathan Shelnick made that play.
Yeah, Mitchell Digby jumped into play, and that allowed for the door to open for that odd man rush. Luckily, it was broken up for Toledo St. Francis Knights case, because that's, you don't want to go behind here. You're in the last 5 minutes. I know the coach of the Knights mentioned in that interview with Marissa, worry about the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes of the period, and the rest will take care of itself. Well, I think this is an important time right now.
Ignatius on the half wall. Michael Boehm getting knocked down. Play continues. And Mitchell lifting the puck back to the neutral zone. Bane Kurtz swatted that bouncing puck across the ice with a backhand. Langermeyer paced it up. Oh, and an opportunity there, but it's lost because Mitchell couldn't catch it cleanly. Battle there, Mitchell against Boehm. There's a shot. Savarino makes a save. I'll bet you to an extent that Benny Savarino is glad to feel like he's a part of the game. All the action's been going on at the other end.
Well, it's only been long shots for him, too, since even that power play goal they just got.
Well, he might get a good shot here. It's taken, but misses. As Snyder couldn't put it on net.
Bane Kurtz is tired, or else he would have tracked that puck down.
Ignatius picking up once again. Down to 3:15 to go here in the period. And a nice job to get a piece of that puck by Michael Boehm and make sure there was no icing. Well, Savarino will just set it up for his defense. 2-2 game. St. Francis getting 2 goals off the power play. And 2 even strength goals here for St. Ignatius.
Oh, a little caretaking there in the defensive position for Ignatius. That puck got away from Eric Lyle, but he recovered nicely.
Well, the upcoming second intermission, we'll hear from head coach of St. Ignatius, Patrick O'Rourke, and also take a look at the state of girls hockey in Ohio. (26-18) the shots on goal in favor of St. Ignatius. That's not surprising because of the time that they have spent inside of the Toledo St. Francis zone here in this period.
There's a great look at 20, Bilardo, Alex Bilardo. As that last whistle went, he made sure, and we mentioned he's not the biggest guy, but just as that whistle went, he went over and snowed. He stopped right in front of Jacob Coward to send him a message like, hey, just to annoy him a little bit. So there's a lot of games going on within the game here, and it's good. It's fun to watch Bilardo get involved there.
You'll let him know you're there.
Yeah.
Right? Battle on the near wall. Knights can't clear the puck. And here is Bilardo. He's got it on the backhand. Tried to slide it in front. It deflected off a skate. Now Digby. Couldn't clear. Another opportunity here for St. Ignatius. You saw the patience there. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, but Charlie Klenkar couldn't get the pass through. But you can see they're operating within that system. They're well structured. They're very disciplined.
Wow, that's a big hit. And you're right, they are disciplined. Looks like they're going to call this.
It's going to be a retaliation penalty going the other way this time, I believe.
Well, Digby got away with a cross check. Okay, you get away with one. There it is. I mean, there's a cross check, and now that's just a little too much. You're not going to get away with all that just because he's got your stick. So excellent play by Ignatius there to stay patient and not retaliate. He took the hit. If you take the hit like that and you wait, guess what? Eric Lyle did an excellent job not retaliating, and Digby now sits. And I thought he should have stopped with just getting away with that cross check.
That's what you would have done.
Yep.
That's why it makes me laugh to hear you say that, because
right here, right now,
age teaches you many things.
Right.
There's the puck at the blue line. Long shot toward the net, gets blocked. Well, the interesting thing here will be to see if St. Ignatius can take advantage of their power play as St. Francis has done on theirs.
Right. Now, St. Francis has been perfect. So it's a big moment. I see a little frustration out there with Kurtz as he thought that play from his defenseman was a little too quick. And he's talking all the way up the ice. Well, I guess it's forward. Trebenter, as you look at the captain there for Toledo St. Francis Knights. And that's Tim Morgan Jr. A couple big blocks defensively. This comes all the way down the ice. Oh, good turnover right here.
Yeah, they do not clear it out. Mitchell, big hit. Snyder couldn't keep hold of the puck, and Trebenter will carry it up the ice. Puck swept off his stick by Tim Morgan Jr. Trebenter gets right back to it and all the way around the boards. Drops it off for Bane Kurtz. That's the guy they want to have it, but he couldn't get a pass in front. Here's a shot from the blue line, and that one is stopped. Follow-up chance and a score. There is Bane Kurtz in one hand-eye coordination to put that one in.
I mean, I watched this kid all the way up the ice. And there he is celebrating. And as he comes up the ice, he is totally in I'm going to hide out mode. And And he is not even in your screen, but here he comes, and that's his stick you're going to be welcome to first. Puck's in the air. He knocks it out of the air. No chance for goaltender Jacob Coward. Shot and rebound. Coward did an excellent job walking down that long-range shot, but the rebound, and he's taking a look at it on the scoreboard. Yeah, I think he's pretty proud of his work right there. That's right, guys. Get a look. It was knocked out of the air. So you mentioned hand-eye coordination. Excellent play by the young athlete. Nothing you can do about that. If you're St. Francis, you've got to just regroup here late in this period.
And as you said, Bane Kurtz was talking with his teammates when they had to come all the way back into their own zone.
He was barely skating.
Yeah, that's what some of the best ones do, right? On the power play. Just get into a place where you might be effective.
You trust your teammates to carry the puck. There was a brief cycle there in the corner, and then as the play got shifted and everybody focused on the far side, he knew where to stand and wait, and it's exactly what he did.
Now they go over every goal. And that's what is happening right now. They're reviewing it just to make sure everything's on the up and up. It is. And now we'll drop the puck with Ignatius back on top, 3-2. Minute and 16 seconds left. And for Jacob Coward, the goaltender, no way he could get back into position for that second shot. It's just really another key was the hard shot from the point. Getting it through, that's what causes the rebound.
Yeah, every time. You know, you're looking to score goals on shot blockers and goaltenders, and it's usually the broken play or the rebound that causes those because it breaks down the structure. Now, shoot the puck.
Digby losing control of the puck. Here comes Bellardo. Trying to get it across. Couldn't. Lyle with a shot. And Coward got a piece of that.
That's a huge save late in this game, in this period, and all the momentum in St. Ignatius's corner.
And now an icing call is upcoming against Toledo St. Francis. You're right. If you go into the dressing room down 4-2, all of a sudden, it's a lot different mood in there.
Yeah, this is a crucial part of the game, and I love. I'll go back to what Vargas said with Marissa. All he told his players was, "Hey, worried about the first two and the last two of each period." And there's that save by Coward. Good play as Ignatius makes her way up the ice. Bellardo and Millette involved with that one, along with Kurtz.
Tim Morgan Jr. trying to spring a man up the right side. Gabe Barrow had to put the brakes on as Ignatius knocked down the puck. Down to 24 seconds remaining in the period. Bane Kurtz knocks it ahead. Barrow intercepts, and he'll just throw it in deep. Langermeyer, they just want to get the puck out of the zone. Haven't been able to do so yet. Under 10 seconds remaining here as it's spun outside the blue line, and that'll pretty much do it for the period. And St. Ignatius with a power play goal late in period number 2 is back on top in this game, leading by the score of 3-2, and they find themselves one period away from being able to three-peat as state champions. Bane Kurtz talking to his teammates. He scored the go-ahead goal. 3-2 is the score. Patrick O'Rourke, the head coach of St. Ignatius, talks with Marissa Contapelli next.
Your teams, your schools, what you live for lives here.
The delivery with the right hand. With authority. Score drive to the hole.
Whether it's across town or across the region, we are the home of Ohio sports. We are Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. This city, this club, stands with you.
A hat trick of stops. John scores.
What you live for lives here. Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Crew SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Saturday on Spectrum Sports. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. There is a place where dreams arise. Stars are born. And greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
After 2 periods of play, St. Ignatius holds a 3-2 lead over St. Francis. Welcome back to Nationwide Arena and the site of the OHSAA Boys Ice Hockey State Championship game. Joining me now is Wildcats head coach Patrick O'Rourke. Coach, St. Francis was able to get that early goal there in the second period, but just over a minute later, your team was able to respond and find the back of the net. What did you like about that response?
It was quick. It's okay to trail, but it's better to be tied. So, you could play long stretches tied or down a goal, but if they get the next one, now you're down 2 goals. So it's good to answer back right away, and it's kind of a good hard-working play. So, we got to stay out of the penalty box, so that's for sure.
Now, yesterday, Bane Kurtz got on the score sheet 4 times. Through most of this game, St. Francis seemed like they kind of held him in check. He was finally able to get on the score sheet late in that second period. Is this a case of them playing good defense on him, or do you need to see more out of your senior?
No, he's playing great. I think he made a pretty athletic play there to bat the puck in. So, but we were rolling 3 lines of all equally capable of scoring. So whoever does, his brother scored a goal, sophomore. No, he's going to show up. He's been working hard in the back check and that kind of thing. So he always shows up in big games. So it's good to get that go-ahead goal there.
Both of St. Francis's goals have come on the power play. What adjustments do you want to see out of your defense when they are on the power play?
Yeah, we better go change our penalty kill. After I talked to you, it's not working. So I think we just got caught out of position a couple times, and they took advantage of it. So that's kind of on us. We'll fix it right now.
On the night so far, you've had 3 different goal scorers, over 20 shots. Do you like the chances overall that you're creating?
I like the second period better than the first period. The first period I thought they kind of took it to us. Second period we changed something and it worked pretty well. So hopefully it'll keep working for one more period. But we're trying to pump shots on net and see if a couple go in. So it's gonna be a fun third period and it's anybody's game. So that's exactly what you want.
You're 1 period away from potentially becoming a 3-time state champion. What needs to happen in that final period, and what are you going to stress to your players in the locker room?
Well, we don't really think of it that way. We're just trying to win this period, because if we win the period, we win this game. So if we pretty much make hard plays all the time, that's our goal. We don't want any softies, any backhanders that get flubbed and right in our slot. So if we make hard plays, use the boards quite a bit, keep it out of harm's way, then maybe we'll be okay.
Coach, we appreciate you spending some time with us here today. Well, we still have plenty of hockey here to come on Spectrum Sports. Stay with us as we continue the OHSAA Boys Ice Hockey State Championships from Nationwide Arena.
Weeknights.
Come on, you don't know.
Are for the self-proclaimed boys of truth and reason.
Hello? What, you've never been on a talk show?
At 6, Lesson Company break down the night in sports live, taking your calls and battling the ridiculous.
What? I'm just reading you what Bob is writing.
More sports and less Levine, Monday through Thursday night at 6 on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum.
There are 2 kind of coaches, those that have been fired and those that are going to get fired.
Here I am, I'm the big man on campus, and comes this new coach, and the first day of practice, he kicks me out.
Can you even describe what it's like to go 240 miles an hour?
Every day, there's something that happens that'll make me think about what he hates.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
There is a place where dreams arise. Stars are born. And greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
Welcome back to Spectrum Sports, where St. Ignatius has a 3-2 lead over St. Francis in the boys hockey state championship game here from Nationwide Arena. Well, in just a little bit, it will be either St. Ignatius or St. Francis completing its ultimate goal for the season as going out a state champion. But it's another championship performance that has created a lot of buzz across the country. And as Aaron Goldstein tells us, Team USA's women's ice hockey gold medal from this previous Olympics is giving girls of all ages something to work towards.
When I started playing hockey, I didn't even know how to skate.
Lexi Cooper has come a long way in 2 short years.
I sort of gave her a nudge at about the age of 9.
And I was like, how am I ever going to be able to do this? They make it look so easy.
But once she got on the ice...
Now, today, I'm like, it is pretty easy.
Following in her father Brian's footsteps, 11-year-old Lexi has fallen in love with the sport. In fact, she's on 2 teams, one with all girls and another that's co-ed.
We encourage the girls to play with the boys as long as they possibly can. It's the largest talent pool. It's going to be the most competitive setting.
I think it honestly pushes her as a girl, a female, to skate harder, work harder.
You can check them a lot. It's so much fun.
But for as many advantages as there are playing with the boys, there's something to be said, too, about hitting the ice with a group of girls.
It is so important for the girls to have a strong community of girls that they like to get together and play with, and they can travel with, and just form those lifelong friendships.
Which is why 2 years ago, Natalie Darr helped create the Central Ohio Girls Hockey Association, a nonprofit networking group that helps girls find the right fit.
All the pucks will be right here in the coach.
Some of the girls that we have gathered together were kind of at their last end. You know, they didn't have a girls team to play for. Their parents didn't necessarily want them playing on the high school team with the boys.
Getting girls to be on a girls team is ideal because they're going to stay in the sport longer. They're going to be making lifelong friendships and then playing adult league together or playing in the Olympics together. The Olympics is every girl's dream.
It's a dream that starts at a young age for many girls, including Dar's 5- and 7-year-old daughters, who can't get enough of Team USA's gold medal victory in South Korea last month.
My daughters have watched the game at least 5 or 6 times, and every time it's on TV, they just immediately pick up a stick and start playing.
In women's hockey, it's such a small community that seeing people win an Olympic gold isn't something that's so far-fetched like it is for maybe boys hockey or even other sports. It is something that is within reach.
Giving girls like Lexi Cooper some extra motivation.
See people that have gone from my age up to that level, it's just so much fun. And then they won.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. It's great to see the sport of girls ice hockey growing as much as it has. And if your daughter is interested in joining the Central Ohio Girls Hockey Association, they are always looking for new players. You can check out their Facebook page by searching Central Ohio Girls Hockey, or you can even check out their website at coghockey.com. Now, while the U.S. Women's Olympic Ice Hockey team has given those dreams to young athletes across the country, the Ohio State women have also helped the sport of women's ice hockey grow here in the Buckeye State as well. They were victorious over Boston College earlier today, knocking off the number 3 seed 2-0. The Buckeyes are now advancing to the Frozen Four in the NCAA tournament. And speaking of the Buckeyes, we still have a lot of hockey here to go at Nationwide Arena after the OHSAA Boys Ice Hockey State Championship game wraps up. Later tonight, the Ohio State men will be taking on the Michigan Wolverines in the Big Ten Ice Hockey Tournament right here from Nationwide Arena. A lot of hockey, a lot going on in the sport here in the state of Ohio. Well, as I mentioned, we still have one more period to go between St. Ignatius and St. Francis. Either the Wildcats or Knights will become state champions.
It was a season like none other. Relentless work, unbridled passion, and competitive fire. From the fall exhibition games to the state championships and everywhere in between, Spectrum Sports covered your schools all season long. Congratulations, Deer Park Wildcats, on an amazing year and state championship. Spectrum Sports, the exclusive home of the OHSAA. This city, this club, stands with you.
A hat trick of stops. John scores.
What you live for lives here. Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Crew SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Saturday on Spectrum Sports. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
2-2 as we get set for period number 3, state championship game in boys ice hockey here at Nationwide Arena. The St. Ignatius Wildcats a 3-2 lead over the Knights of Toledo St. Francis. Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley back here with you. And the second period had a lot more excitement than the first. It was all about power plays and taking advantage of power play opportunities.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a fun period, but Ignatius really carried a lot of the play and carried the attack, but a couple big goals, and this was a huge one. Digby, that was the first lead and only lead so far for Toledo St. Francis. And then Ignatius, of course, responds. This play off the wall, you're going to see a couple of plays here, but this one off the wall, huge pass over to Cam Kurtz, and he ties things up, and that sent the student section of Ignatius into pandemonium. Couple more chances, big saves by the goaltender, big plays. This is the penalty that Digby took. Retaliation there after getting away with the cross-check. And then the ensuing power play for Ignatius. Ignatius, it's going to be the back door for the other Kurtz. That's Bane Kurtz. Knocks it out of the air. Impressive play by him. And as St. Ignatius comes back to the ice, they should feel pretty good about that period, and they're looking to build on it.
Tell you what doesn't feel good on either side, the penalty kill units. They haven't been able to get the job done today. Toledo has 2 power play goals. Ignatius has that 1, and because of that, they do have the lead. So this should be interesting. You're down to the final period of your season, perhaps, here, if you are the Knights.
And the seniors.
And the seniors, the final period of their career. You're right.
Their last day, their last period. I'm sure not a lot has to be said in either room, but you got to touch on the moments as senior players, a senior class. This is it. You're at the final. This is as far as you could come this year, and this is where you've made it to, so take advantage of it.
As a player that's been in a room in big games, what does a coach do? I mean, is it all motivational? Is it more structure? Or does it depend on the coach?
A touch of structure, but I think motivation. I think and if you looked at a few of these players, they all look relaxed because they've been here before. They've played against the opposition before. They played in this building yesterday. They realize that these are memories they'll have for the rest of their life, win or lose. But to be a state champion is something that puts that cherry on top. So really, as a coach, you paint the picture of the opportunity they're in, how they've earned their way to be here, and hey, relax and enjoy this game they're playing.
A little pushing and shoving before the puck even drops for the third period. Matthew Barrow involved for Toledo St. Francis. And the guy he was pushing is Michael Boehm, and he's the one that dumps the puck into the Knights' end. Back out to the neutral zone it comes, and it's sent back in. We'll see if Ignatius is able to do what they did in the second period, and that is spend a whole bunch of time inside of the Toledo St. Francis zone.
That's something
Savarino falls down.
Toledo has got to guard from.
I wasn't sure he was going to get back into position there in time before he shot.
He was either.
I'm sure he was more concerned about it than I was at the moment. My goodness, what a feeling, like you're stranded out on an island.
Yeah, and you're sliding around behind the net. Look for these benches to be shortened here now, too.
Pass up the right side, just steered in by Bain. And circling around is Nathan Shelnick. Nick Coward gets it to Mitchell Digby, ahead to Ben Mitchell. Good check there by Langermeyer. Bouncing puck to the near point. Shelnick going to keep it in, at least for the moment. Mitchell on the near wall. Nice backhanded centering feed. Just didn't have anybody there. Now does Nick Coward trying to throw it to the front of the net. And Ignatius will come back on the counterattack here. That was a nice little flurry, a little bit of push. Not a lot of shots there, but at least Toledo St. Francis was in the zone there with a chance to make some plays.
Yeah, and that speed here through the zone doesn't get out.
Trobenter with a drop pass, and he dropped it to nowhere. And that will allow the Knights to come back on the counterattack. Quick shot, and that one is caught. Hunter McKee putting that shot on Benny Savarino.
Yeah, Savarino scoops that up, but a little sloppiness on both teams, and it ends up coming back the other way. But here's a big hit by number 10, Ben Mitchell. Oh, and that draws a nice celebration from the student section. That was on Cam Kurtz for the Wildcats. He tried to build that speed, led to the turnover, and on the regroup, he got a free hit.
Bouncing puck in the neutral zone now. Ignatius finds it, plays it into the Toledo St. Francis zone. The Knights quickly clear it out. They had a man in Ostrander up the ice. They couldn't connect on the pass. Now McKee getting rubbed out of the play right in front of the Ignatius bench. Wildcats take their time. Puck gets picked off in the neutral zone, but we're benefiting from a line change there. Bain Kurtz just came off the bench at the right time to get that puck back.
Great read by Tim Organ Jr. He just jumped up and anticipated. That's what the defenseman have got to do for St. Francis. Read those plays and keep pressing ahead, much like Ignatius did with their D in that second period.
Puck on the half wall left wing side, moved around the boards here. And that's going to allow Pavlicka to skate it out, but now it's turned back over and sent in. An icing call here.
Oh, they got lucky. St. Francis went for a change, and Bain Kurtz saw no defenseman at just the puck, but unfortunately for Ignatius, the puck was sent for icing, so it goes all the way back down in front of their goaltender, Savarino. Good break for Toledo St. Francis.
Bain Kurtz will take the face-off against Matthew Barrow. Barrow puts it to the near wall. Ignatius trying to clear it out. Barrow's back there, gets it to the point. Quick shot toward the net. That one is swept away. Battle with the blue line here. And now there's Digby. Trying to get up to the red line. Puck was knocked off his stick. Nice little steal there by Michael McCaffrey. Sent it up into the air, and he didn't know where it was. Now it's Bain Kurtz on the boards. Couldn't complete his pass to Michael Bain. And here's a chance 1-on-2 for Nick Daly. And Langermeyer takes him out of that play.
But Daly couldn't scoop that up just behind him. Unfortunately, because he did have a little speed.
Tell you what, that Greg Langermeyer is all over the ice. He's throwing hits. He can skate with the puck there. He just cleared the zone off the backhand. And that allows St. Ignatius to get a shot away. That one turned aside by Jacob Coward. Knocked down on the end boards. Good job by Tim Organ Jr. just to slide it back the other way. And this will be an icing call.
Trying to spring a couple players in the offensive zone. Toledo St. Francis. I don't mind what they're doing. They're just sending players far. Take the icing. It doesn't matter, because right now, you touched on it coming into this period. You want to play in that offensive zone, and Snyder was up in the play as Mostrop is trying to get that puck up there. It is an icing, but hey, take your chances now. Just don't play too much of a short game in your own end.
Bilardo tied up from the faceoff. Now he goes chasing behind the net, but Toledo St. Francis got there first. They have a chance to skate it out. Nick Coward up the right side.
Defenseman has no stick for Ignatius.
Puck to the front of the net. One save made by Savarino. Tim Morgan Jr. keeps the puck in the zone. Good job to put it on the forehand and trying to give his teammate Matthew Snyder a chance. Now he sends it toward the net. Snyder tipped that one and sent it wide and high. And now it's going to be an icing call, and they had to do that. As you said, Andrew Dink did not have a stick.
Yeah, Dink, and it's funny when St. Francis has any kind of advantage, a man advantage, they have zone time. A player without a stick, they have offensive zone time. As you take a look at the most championships in OHSAA hockey, yeah, St. Edward, but St. Ignatius is trying to work its way up there.
Looking for number 6 here today. Turnover. And there's Langermeyer. He got back to it after his own turnover. Now good pressure here. McKee into the near corner, just pestering Camden Kurtz.
Finish my thought.
Here's a chance in front to score. Down low, Hunter McKee beats Savarino and ties the game at 3.
What a play off the goaltender. We talked about it on the last goal for Ignatius. Shot, rebound, find the opportunity, and there it is. Excellent job to find that puck down in front. And that's a simple play. No chance for Savarino. He's got to be committed to the first shot, obviously. And as he is, and tries to regroup, he gets beat by McKee. And there's the student section. Yeah. They got the chance going. I love that part of high school hockey, too. Everyone's on the same page in the cheering section.
For Savarino, that's one of those rebounds. In that case, he probably would have been better off to give up a long rebound than just a short one. That one gets into no man's land. He can't pounce out there and try to get it. He's almost helpless in trying to get into position. And a good job by Hunter McKee, right down near the front of the net, takes full advantage. And why be surprised the way this game has gone between these two, back and forth?
Yeah, and it's really gone St. Francis's way here to start this period. I was saying that broken stick showed us the confidence they have with any kind of advantage, and they're not far off. They've got to continue to play this game, but here comes St. Ignatius.
Drop pass intended for Bane Kurtz, and it's a nice little play turned in there by Gabe Barrow, just to lift his stick enough that pass didn't get completed. Now turnover. Barrow tries to throw it out in front. Tim Morgan Jr. Good play to jump up and anticipate. And the Wildcats very calmly and smartly clear that puck.
Little pass to the middle, yeah, there by Gabe Barrow, hoping someone was there. Those are the type of plays. Hey, why not try to make those against the defending champs? Looking for the bounce or that puck to get to one of your teammates.
Snyder couldn't take care of it. Lyle plays it back in. Good rush there by Klenkar. Gets the puck out to the right point. Langermeyer with a shot. Hits the defenseman's stick. Well, those defensemen trying to be helpful. Sometimes you got to hope you get the right deflection off the stick and it doesn't trick your goaltender.
Well, as a player, your first reaction is always to get in front of a puck or a shot. It's just human nature. Hey, this is, I want to try to keep this out of my net. And of course, you're right. A lot of the time, the goaltender is the victim to a deflection or a half block shot. Big face off here.
Camden Kurtz taking that face off. Battle in the near corner here. And a shot and a good save there by Jacob Coward. That just kind of launched off the wall almost out of nowhere. And Coward was in good position. Back into his own end, Charlie Erbs. And it's through center ice, not connecting on passes. Back and forth here through the neutral zone. And Mitchell.
Yeah, too many men.
Yeah, it took a while to call that. They're making a line change there, and Mitchell jumped on the ice.
Yeah, Digby's out there too. It looks like they get to choose who goes to the box.
Too bad. They had the momentum going here, and Pavlicka's going to go and sit.
Too many men for too long. Just too long. Could have hopped off that ice quick, and Ignatius' bench was all over it. You could see them react to the ref react to them, and then the ref counting. Yeah, 6 guys, arm goes up. So, power play for Ignatius. And specialty teams has been huge in this game.
Michael McCaffrey taking the face-off. Dane Kurtz is out there with him. Langermeyer on the ice. Right now it's Michael Bain. It's the puck to Langermeyer. Back out to Bain. Not taking the shot. McCaffrey around the boards. Trebenter. Now here's a shot. That one just off the arm of the goaltender and over the crossbar. And the rebound is cleared. Hit the linesman right in front of the Toledo St. Francis bench. They're trying to change their penalty kill unit, and they will. Langermeyer brings it in. Little shot there. Here's a chance for a wraparound off the backside to score. Michael McCaffrey changed direction behind the net off the backhand. He stuffs it home. It's a power play goal, and St. Ignatius is back on top 4-3.
Yeah, Coward, the goaltender, did not look happy right from the puck being in neutral ice.
And he looks rattled right now. He's got to collect himself because this is a heck of a hockey game that they're in.
And what a play by this guy, number 10, Ben Mitchell. Quick behind the net. There he is. Goes one way, defense commits, and then the other way. The forward tries to come down and help. And as he does, it's just too late.
There's a little bit of daylight there, and that's McCaffrey. Then puts that puck in the net. What a play. And that's a big play out of the captain. On the power play, 5'10" senior Michael McCaffrey. And Ignatius has restored their lead.
You know, it kind of looked like when Coward slid over there that his skate blade hit the goalpost and bounced off. That he slid with force, it hit the post and bounced off. That's what created enough of an opening for that backhanded wraparound.
He looked slow to get over, too. It's like he was not really aware of what was happening, and he almost guessed on it. And he was just a fraction too late. And I thought that last attempt, that shot on the short side, he just didn't have that pop to get on that left post.
So now it is the Knights that have to try to get this back to a tie game, and Savarino covers up a loose puck near his net.
That looks like Gabe Barrow just barreled himself through there. I mean, it was clear that the goalie had the puck. A little pat on the pads, no big deal. Just under 7 minutes left in this game, and specialty teams has been the difference. Puck's going to get to the crease. And there's that play. Good commitment.
Ignatius will make a line change here prior to the faceoff. Shots on goal are 30-22 for St. Ignatius.
St. Francis going to make a line change too. Try to run a faceoff play off this win.
And Mitchell with the shot, and a good save by Savarino. Right off the right pad.
Perfectly executed faceoff play. Excellent save by Benny Savarino.
Tim Morgan Jr. lifts the puck ahead. Ignatius sends it back the other way. Mitchell Digby into his own zone. Takes a look around to see how much time he has. Put it off the stick of Nick Coward. Ignatius, that second power play goal of the day, taking the lead. And time will certainly become a factor here. Langermeyer with a shot. Misses the net off the end boards. It comes. And Coward with a great second save.
Wow, that was an adventure, wasn't it?
And they wave off icing as the puck goes the other way.
Wow, that bounce off the end boards.
I will almost guarantee you that the rinks that these teams play in throughout the course of the year don't have lively bounces like that.
No, that's right.
Pignatello came in. Looked like it could have been a hook. They let the play continue. He gets it right back. Flips it in front, and there is Jacob Coward to cover it.
Good play by Pignatello up ice. Good composure. How about this play? Off the end board, straight back out. Coward says, what?
He couldn't believe that puck was coming back. Tried to catch it underhand in that glove, and no, he didn't do that. He just did the right thing and fell back in his net to make sure there was no room. Oh, that would have been a big goal.
Yeah, and most of the rinks that they play in, that would hit the boards and just stop and die.
You could see.
Never come back like that. That's a great adjustment.
Oh, that almost got through the barrel. You don't spend any time practicing that here in warm-up.
Rebounds off the boards?
No.
Here comes Barrow with a shot and a score! Dave Barrow picks the upper right-hand corner just off the top of the goaltender's glove. And it's a 4-4 game.
Wow, he can't believe it. Just rips this past Saravino. And what a shot. And what a game here right now. Things are tied up. Shoot the puck. The goaltender, Benny Savarino, not happy with himself. Just a rip. It looks like he thinks he's got it. He's down. He's confident. And that's a laser top shelf. And that's a huge moment here. There's a timeout call, it looks like.
He started with his glove low.
He just looked overconfident there, I thought.
But, you know, you're taught to start with the glove high. It is easier to drop the glove than it is to raise the glove. He started with it a little bit low, and then when he went to raise it, that's why it wasn't there in time to catch the puck. Let's look at it one more time here.
There's the goaltender.
See, he's trying to go upstairs with it. By that time, it's too late.
He just kind of puts that glove up. I think he was surprised.
It's a great shot.
Perfect.
It's not to take anything away from the shot, I'll tell you that. What a goal by Gabe Barrow. So we are far from having anything decided here today.
Yeah, score off the rush. You can't get sustained zone time. Just attack.
Barrow tried to come in there again. Good job by Clay Gastak to slow him down. On the right wing boards, here's a shot to flex wide. Tim Morgan Jr. steps up and keeps that puck on the near wall, at least for the moment. And now Ignatius will, well, they worked it out, and then it was played right back in. Long pass up the ice. This is by everybody, and will be an icing call.
Crowd is having a good time here. What a game. And that last goal going to Toledo St. Francis. Their crowd, there they are.
Well, they're getting their money's worth here.
There you go.
Back and forth. Face off in the left wing circle. Nick Coward taking the draw. Gets it back to the point. Can't hold it there. And delayed offside. Now it'll be whistled.
Nick Coward wasn't clear on the communication there from the defenseman and the linesman. That's Pignatello we just saw. And there's the head coach, O'Rourke. And he said he didn't like the first period of his team, but he did like the second. And now this third, all bets are off. 4-4 under 5 minutes to play.
Puck hitting the side of the net. Sent back around on the right wing side and cleared out to the neutral zone. Here's an opportunity. They nudge it ahead. And a backhanded shot. The save was made. That puck bounced off the stick and up into the mask of the goaltender. Jacob Coward keeps it out of the net. Trobenter from the blue line. Kept it on the line. Pignatello started to lose control of it. Now he stepped into. And he quickly catches up with that puck. Shot coming from the left point. Gets blocked. Tim Morgan Jr. dropping down to one knee to block that. Morgan is the captain of this Toledo St. Francis team. Didn't clear the zone. Good shot block there by Nick Coward.
That was huge. It looked like Ignatius had a little bit of a set play to run there in that offensive zone, and they had to full control, but that was a block that just shut everything down.
Puck around to the near point. Here's a shot, and that one doesn't get by Savarino. Barrow centering attempt. It's tipped away in the high slot. It's going to be sent back down low by Matthew Barrow. And finally off a stick and over the glass and out of play.
That'll bring the faceoff outside of the zone here. Good job by either team. You see momentum just going back and forth. One shift defensively for St. Francis. The next shift, they're out in the offensive zone, and that's how tight these two teams are. The number 1 at Ignatius most of the season against the number 2 in Toledo St. Francis. And this is going to come down to the wire. We're in that time right now, under 4 minutes, where it's high attention to detail if you get to go over the boards.
Clay Gazdak inside of his own zone, passing behind the net. Langermeyer up the right side, off the stick of Michael Boehm it goes. Now here's a steal. It's Bain Kurtz coming into the right wing circle, puts it in front. Didn't have anybody there. Follow-up chance, and that one goes off the post. Michael McCaffrey almost broke the tie. Now it's Ben Mitchell back the other way. Couldn't drag it around the defenseman Gazdak. Langermeyer looks up the ice. Pass on the left side, and he didn't connect with McCaffrey. It'll be an icing call.
Well, all the coaching staff of Ignatius were yelling at Langermeyer, skate, skate, skate. And he was waiting to find the option. I think he was a smart man looking for Bain Kurtz. That's the man you want to get it to is Kurtz. There's a head coach, O'Rourke. Instead, it goes for icing. And now that man, Chris Varga, allowed to make a line change here. Interesting sequence.
Puck around the boards and out to the neutral zone. And an offside call. Treventer had to slow down to maintain his control of the puck, and that's what sent it offside as Millette went over the blue line.
You know, one of the great things about high school hockey is it's not too structured. There's a lot of little mistakes that happen in the middle of the game and in the middle of the ice that allow for those odd man rushes and broken plays. And this has been one heck of an entertaining game.
Ignatius had a tag up. Ooh. And they make a steal. Treventer with a shot, and Jacob Coward with a great glove save.
Just a backhand pass by the defenseman right to the St. Ignatius forward, and those are the mistakes I was talking about. You know, in other levels, you want this off the wall and out, but here it's a pass through the middle. Your goalie's there to make the save. Good job by Coward.
Alex Bellardo to take the face-off against Gabe Barrow. Lyle to the end boards for Ignatius. Trying to get that stick free. Puck winds up over on the far wall, and Matthew Barrow gets it out. Across to Daly. He just shoots one softly toward the net, easily turned aside by Savarino. And now Pignatello. Trying to put on a skating exhibition, and he does get it in. Klinkar. Opportunity here as puck is picked up by Eric Lyle. Called for it at the blue line, got it, back to Lyle, and he gets stepped into. Gabe Barrow was right there to try to force a turnover. Now Pignatello with a shot, sticked off the glass by the goaltender. Bouncing puck to the left point. Good job to hold that in, and his shot just deflected wide. That was a puck I thought was going to bounce to the neutral zone. As it wound up, it was close to being a goal.
When it starts bouncing like that, and Andrew Dank read it perfectly to keep it in.
Here's a 2-on-1 down low with a shot, and again Coward with a big save. Here's a shot from the blue line, and a rising slap shot misses the net. And now you can sense the intensity here as we get late in the period. Ben Mitchell comes in, goes behind the net. Langermeyer, good job to sweep the puck off his stick. Under a minute to go in regulation time. And up the ice comes St. Ignatius. Want to get that puck angled to the front of the net. They send it to the blue line. Quick shot, and that one hits traffic. Good job to block that by Nathan Shelnick. Lifts the puck to the neutral zone. Toledo St. Francis losing control. Bain Kurtz is out there lurking for Ignatius. He's got one goal. He would love to have an opportunity. 30 seconds.
He was on the bench for quite some time. I was surprised they saved him, but he's out there now.
Come in, can't drag the puck around the defenseman. It is kept in. They do get it to Kurtz on the near side. He's got too much traffic. Played it to the middle of the ice, stolen away now by Nick Daly. Passing on the right wing side. Here's a chance for Digby. In, shoot, save made. Savarino, his biggest save of the game. As there are under 10 seconds remaining and the puck is cleared out to the neutral zone. And it appears as though regulation time won't be enough in this championship game today, as we are going to overtime. Tied at 4 at the end of regulation. What a game this has been. What a third period. It's been back and forth. And at the end of regulation play, it's St. Ignatius 4 and Toledo St. Francis 4.
It was a season like none other. Relentless work, unbridled passion, and competitive fire. From the fall exhibition games to the state championships and everywhere in between, Spectrum Sports covered your schools all season long. Congratulations, St. Vincent St. Mary Fighting Irish, on an amazing year and state championship. Spectrum Sports, the exclusive home of the OHSAA. Tuesday nights are for Ohio college basketball. Spectrum Sports is teaming up with your favorite site where Ohio State fans gather. 11 Warriors Report. Join the pros from 11 Warriors as they preview the week ahead and deliver everything Scarlet and Gray fans need to know. 11 Warriors Report. Tuesday nights. Only on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
We are headed to overtime in the state championship game here at Nationwide Arena. Here are the overtime rules. It is sudden death. First goal wins. The periods are 8 minutes. Intermissions after the first and the third overtimes. And starting in the second overtime, there will be 4-on-4 hockey. If we go 5 overtimes without a winner, then the game goes to a shootout. These rules were totally revamped a couple of years ago when it went, seven overtimes?
And they called it because they thought the players were at health risk.
Called it on account of fatigue. Called it on account of darkness.
I guess. You could call it that.
Here we go. 5-on-5 sudden death. St. Ignatius, St. Francis for the state title. Certainly next goal wins. Ignatius losing control of the puck. Now step up and send one down off the end boards. Chipped through the neutral zone by T.Gali. And this is not going to go far enough for icing. Keep in mind they didn't resurface the ice. So there's a lot of snow out there. The puck will not travel as far. It'll bounce around a little bit more here in this first overtime. Battle on the near wall. Bane Kurtz just kind of lurking there, waiting to see if the puck comes in his direction. It did not. Now it is Matthew Barrow. Getting the puck to Ben Mitchell. He went to make a move, lost control of the puck, gets it back. And nice job to step in there and knock it away by Andrew Dink.
Yeah, Mitchell was trying to get that to the other side of the ice. Couldn't do it.
Kurtz with a rink-wide pass attempt. That one got blocked. He'll pick it back up himself. And he tossed it in just before taking a hit he knew was coming. Now it's Greg Langermeyer. Up the left wing side, finds Michael McCaffrey. McCaffrey flips it on the right side. Here's a shot that missed.
Oh, what a chance.
Back in the neutral zone, Ignatius will dump it right back in. Puck to the near point, held in, centering attempt. Here's Bellardo, backhanded shot, and the save is made by Coward off the glove and in, or off the stick and into the glove.
Yeah, Bellardo there, quick shot on the backhand, and as he gets that away, the goaltender just snaps it up and says, "No, this we're going to stop this right now." There's Bellardo, quick shot.
And you can see no rebound in sight for Lyle, who's skated through that area. Intense moments. If you're a player on the ice in this situation, ooh, attention to detail. To get that puck on the net, you never know.
Here's a shot, and again, Coward folds down on it.
Goaltender looking calm there. Couple of easy saves for him. Okay. Now, guys, win this face-off. Toledo St. Francis and go play some offense.
Knight's trying to clear the zone. It gets to the blue line, not out. Shot tipped. And over top of the net it goes. Now whipped out to the neutral zone. Langermeyer did not get to the red line. Yes, he did. It was at the late offside. They had to tag up. And now the puck goes back the other way. And it does have enough momentum to turn into an icing call.
Now both teams are going to change up here, and a little bit on their heels for that last shift with St. Francis, but give Ignatius, give them the tip of the hat there. Simple plays at the goaltender, put the pressure on him. This is a big face-off to the left of Coward.
Ignatius battling. They can't control it completely, and they end up chopping it up into the crowd.
Yeah, careful hockey right here. Icings, whistles, pucks getting chipped out. A few of those bucks in the crowd here today. A few souvenirs.
Joey Treventer. Now Jacob Coward right there.
Adjusting the mask. Getting a breather as that puck did move out to the neutral zone here for a face-off.
Ignatius, since the start of this overtime, it's been just over 2 minutes. They've kept the puck in that end. Now a chance to skate it out. That's exactly what Gabe Barrow will do. Chases up the ice. Push it behind the net.
You can see all those dark jerseys in the middle of the ice. Nothing there.
Left wing pass. Millette back to the middle. Chance down low, and they couldn't capitalize on that. And that will allow the Knights to turn it around. And here comes Gabe Barrow across the ice. And Mitchell with a backhanded shot. Savarino makes a save. He wanted to take the forehand shot. He didn't have full control of the puck.
That good idea just to get it on the goaltender. You can hear from the sigh here in the crowd of the big O. It was a nice chance.
Andrew Denk plays it in. Mitchell Digby lost his stick. He'll be able to pick that up and get back into the play. Denk pokes it around Digby. And then Denk couldn't drag it along the blue line. It was knocked away, and his team had to reset. That allows Toledo St. Francis to move off the end boards. Oh, Bane Kurtz forces a turnover, and he couldn't get back to that puck in front. Up the ice and in on the right side. Quick shot. Nick Daly off the blocker pad. Matthew Snyder sends it behind the net to the near corner. Langermeyer puts it up the boards, but not out. Bouncing puck in. Bane Kurtz sends it ahead. This goes by everybody. It's right in on goal, and a smart play by Jacob Coward just to freeze it.
And a smart play by Kurtz, too. Had a man streaking through the middle of the ice, advanced the puck. They couldn't track it down, but it is gobbled up by Coward. He's going to take the whistle. These guys, both teams have really relied on top two lines, and you can see a lot of guys just bent over, short shifts. They're getting tired, and as this goes further on, looks like there's going to be a timeout called here. Smart play defensively, because when these guys came over the boards, they did look a little bit tired in this moment. So take your time here. Make sure defensively everyone's collected and on the same page, because you got to play some offense here. Keep that puck moving out of your zone and get down and attack.
Toledo St. Francis taking that time out to get their players a break. Look at this. You want to talk about hockey mania in Columbus? This is what's gone on this week. The Blue Jackets had games against Vegas and Colorado. At the state semifinals yesterday, the Blue Jackets played Detroit. Today we've got this game, that Big Ten hockey in this building tonight, Ohio State, Michigan. And the ACHA hockey championships are going on at the Ohio Health Chiller. And that includes the Ice House, which is connected here to Nationwide Arena. So there is everything going on, including the Ohio Bobcats, who are still in that tournament in the ACHA.
And it's not just hockey. There's some good hockey. Those Blue Jackets games have been fantastic. These games yesterday and today, I mean, this has been a wild one this afternoon. This is it. It's all on the line here today. And nice way to spend a Saturday afternoon watching these two teams go at it for the state championship.
Bellardo will take the face-off for Ignatius, and it's Gabe Barrow for Toledo St. Francis. And Toledo St. Francis wins it. Out to the neutral zone, cut off by Langermeyer and put right back in. Very quickly it changes directions, not once but twice. And here's Bellardo skating with the puck, goes with a forehand shot. That one got blocked. Follow-up chance, that one doesn't go, and a scramble near the net. Coward down there and looking for that puck, and he had plenty of support from his defense. Down the near wall. Ignatius trying to move it out of the zone, or trying to keep it in the zone. The Knights are trying to move it out, and they were able to do that. Line change here for Ignatius. Puck off the glass and out to the neutral zone. Matthew Barrow leaves it for Ben Mitchell. He gets stood up, and that allows Michael Boehm to send it to the neutral zone, picked off by Tim Morgan Jr. His team hadn't tagged up, and now they're going to go to the bench for a change.
Ben Mitchell couldn't get out of the zone there. He laid a big hit, and he was slow to get off. And so that read to stay onside was just to get it deep.
Puck picked off in the middle of the ice. It's going to be Nick Coward, able to bring it in on the left wing side. Opportunity here with a shot. Savarino with a save, and then the rebound cleared. And St. Ignatius will gladly take the icing call here just to get the pressure out of their own zone.
And this is their first offensive zone faceoff in this overtime. It's been all down the offensive zone. This is the last shot on net. Down the wing. Short side selection by Daly. It's Savarino right there. Benny with, I think, 3 saves in this overtime. He's been ready when called upon, but a lot of those are long shots. And the last goal that went in on him was a long shot top shelf. Heck of a shot, but every shot on net, you never know.
Puck is sent out through the neutral zone, just out of the reach of Trobenter. Pignatello gets it back to Trobenter, who throws it to the open end side of the ice here. And now Aiden Millette will just play it in. Here's a turnover. No opportunity. Centering attempt was stolen away. And a big hit on the far side. This is going to be a penalty. And this will give Toledo St. Francis a power play in overtime.
Well, the backside referee called this. He's on our side of the ice. He's looking straight across, so he saw exactly what we saw on this play. And it's going to be a big hit right in the middle of your screen, just as the player turns. Millette is the one that throws the check and gets the penalty. And it has been a game of special teams here this afternoon. St. Francis with 2 on the power play, and what an opportunity here for them in overtime.
Matthew Barrow takes the face-off, and he wins it. Tim Morgan Jr. sending the puck down into the corner. Matthew Barrow's got it. Ostrander just right there near the front of the net.
Yeah, that's his job. He's a big boy. He's there to take up space and screen that goaltender.
Shot goes wide, follow-up chance, and that one just got beyond the reach of Gabe Barrow.
Well, that was a tip by Ostrander. That just, I mean, it didn't, he actually stopped it and it went forward. It was a heck of a play by the big man.
Ostrander with the puck on the near wall. Sends it back toward the blue line. It's picked off by Langermeyer. And he will just clear it the length of the ice. Both teams going to make a few changes here. St. Ignatius intercepting a puck. Getting it back into the Toledo St. Francis end. Now Ben Mitchell is going to carry, and he's got speed. And here he comes. And he gets through one man, goes with a backhanded opportunity, but that one missed as he was already beyond the goal line. And this one is cleared. I'll tell you what, when Mitchell gets the legs going, he can really move.
Well, and he's tried that move a few times this afternoon. That one actually worked. Through the skates, pick it up on the other side. They just ran out of space, but then made that last-ditch effort short side.
Opportunity here for Daly. Couldn't get it in the zone, and now Bellardo trying to come back the other way. He gets run over. Ignatius looking for a penalty call, and they didn't get one. 25 seconds left in the man advantage. Now Nick Daly plays it behind his own net. Under a minute to go in the overtime. Matthew Snyder carries the puck, has it stripped away, gets spun down to the ice. And now here's a chance for Ignatius if they can create separation. Coming in, and a tripping call is coming up here as the whistle blows.
Oh, that should have been penalty shot.
I was waiting for that, and I'm still waiting.
No, they called a trip. And that should have been a penalty shot right here. Clear cut, breakaway, no contact with the puck. It's a trip. And a trip on a breakaway is going to lead to a power play. And I think Ignatius will take it. Excellent speed through the neutral zone. Interesting sequence here as St. Francis comes off the power play with nothing. It's going to end here in 1 second. And then Ignatius get to go to work with their man advantage.
Puck is down. Penalty is over. They tell Millette to come right back over to the bench. And he goes there.
And he looked at the puck as it came right by him. He said, forget it. I'm going to do what I'm told here.
Right. All goes back to that structure.
Yeah.
Puck is dumped in. And Ignatius getting to it. Only 18 seconds are left in the period. Here's a chance for Kurtz, and he couldn't get the shot away. Puck is held at the right point. Sent around behind the net. Bain Kurtz has got it again. Wants to slide it in front. That one got blocked. Tim Morgan Jr. got in the way of that. And this one is lifted out to the neutral zone, and one overtime won't be enough here today either. We'll have to go to a second overtime in which St. Ignatius will carry 1 minute and 18 seconds worth of power play time with them. So it is still a 4-4 game through regulation and a first overtime. The second overtime is coming your way next.
Monday night, Dave Bacon and the boys sound off, speak out, and deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
We'll talk Indians, we'll talk Browns, we'll talk some Cavs.
Get key insight and expert analysis from the most informed voices in Ohio sports.
Something is wrong with the offensive play calling.
Armchair Quarterbacks, Monday nights on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. Tuesday nights are for Ohio college basketball. Spectrum Sports is teaming up with your favorite site where Ohio State fans gather. 11 Warriors Report. Join the pros from 11 Warriors as they preview the week ahead and deliver everything Scarlet and Gray fans need to know. 11 Warriors Report, Tuesday nights, only on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. This city, this club, stands with you.
A hat trick of stops. John scores.
What you live for lives here. Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Crew SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Saturday on Spectrum Sports.
Not enough here at Nationwide Arena as St. Ignatius and St. Francis deadlocked at 4 apiece as we prepare for overtime number 2 of the OHSAA State Ice Hockey Championships. Welcome back inside Nationwide Arena. It has been an exciting one here as the Wildcats and Knights each have scored 4 goals apiece, but they also met in last year's state championship game in 2017, and there was a lot of excitement that led up to before St. Ignatius captured its 2nd state title. Here's our Aaron Goldstein to recap the 2017 tournaments.
The tension continues to build at Nationwide Arena. We know one thing for sure. The next goal will be the game winner as we get ready for another overtime period in the OHSAA Hockey State Tournament. Welcome into our Columbus studio. I'm Aaron Goldstein. While we get closer to crowning the 2018 state champion, let's take a look back at last year's state tournament, one which saw St. Ignatius win its 5th ever Hockey State title. We begin, though, with the first semifinal, featuring Toledo St. Francis de Sales and Olentangy Liberty.
St. Francis out shooting Liberty 5-1 unofficially at this point, or 6-1 now. And again, they try to put it in front. And it's in! St. Francis will draw first blood at 1-0.
Great job for Daly on that last rush. Here's a chance.
Now, quick chance. A shot is Jimmy Bersinger gets the turnover and lights the lamp.
If you're Liberty, you don't want to fall down against the St. Francis squad by 2 because they've proven that they have the defensive people to play.
And it's tied. On the right side, Ron Ambrosia. He was able to best Jacob Coward, and now it's tied at 2. You hear the night student section, and again a shot, a kick saver, rebound goes wide as Daly almost scored his second of the game. Again in front, they try to clear it, turn it over. High post shot. Warren Nattyshak lights the lamp for the second time this afternoon, and now St. Francis has doubled their lead to 4-2. St. Francis just shagging the puck around the ice, running the timeout. They center one in front of shot to score. Ben Mitchell. He gets a shorthanded goal, his first goal of the game, 29th of the year. And St. Francis is closer to landing that knockout punch at 5-2. They cleared the zone and bringing it up through center, Tim Morgan Jr. Assistant captain for the Knights. In front, shot, score! Gabe Barrow gets on the board. His 17th goal of the season. And that should be the knockout punch at 6-2. Chasing it down, turning it over, backhander. Bersinger lost the puck to Hack. Hack backhands it over top of the stick, and it's 8-2 St. Francis.
So the Knights cruise to an 8-2 win, and they would face the winner of semifinal number 2, featuring University School and St. Ignatius. The Wildcats are no stranger to long playoff games. Remember back in 2014, they were crowned co-champions along with Sylvania Northview when their championship game ended in a 1-1 tie after 7 scoreless overtime periods. So last year's semifinals that went 3 extra sessions must have been a breeze, relatively speaking. Let's now look back at how it all went down. It was University School and St. Ignatius in the second state semifinal of 2017.
As we are underway from Columbus in game 2 of the state semifinal round. Held in at right point again with a wrist shot right on, and it squirts wide. Rebound, chance! St. Ignatius drawing first blood at 1:42 of the first period. It's 1-0 Wildcats. And University will start the other direction. Over top of the line, getting through the check there is Nook, and he puts it on goal, and at the same it's Clemens with the rebound, and the game is tied at 1.
In a game with this much on the line, not surprising, and you're seeing that intensity heat up.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Held in by the Preppers. I'd have to say that shot had eyes, as it was fired by Reed Anderson, and that's his first goal of the year, and what a time to get it.
As Patrick O'Rourke looks on, he can hope that his team can avoid going down by 2 before the break.
That shot right on, but it was kept out by Savarino. Another shot to score! 1 second remaining in the period, and the Preppers will take a 2-goal lead to the intermission. Getting it back is Zadella, and again a wrist shot. Chris Revenue from the right side, the senior with his 11th goal of the season, and now University School's lead is only 1 at 3-2. bodies on the ice as the intensity level has stayed up for this entire game. And now in the slot, looking, shooting, and a score! Andrew Zadella, he lights the lamp and ties the game. The senior with his 6th goal of the season, and is tied at 3. As we are ready for action in this 3rd overtime period. Period number 6. 8-minute periods in overtime. And high school hockey. And that's it! Bane Kurtz will send St. Ignatius to the state championship game. It took 11 seconds. Right down the slot he came, got a great chance. He buried it, and St. Ignatius will play to defend their state title.
The Wildcats get the game winner from Bane Kurtz just 11 seconds into overtime number 3, setting up a date with Toledo St. Francis de Sales in the championship game. Those two schools had accounted for the previous 3 state championships. It was Northeast Ohio versus Northwest Ohio, as we head back to Nationwide Arena to see how it all played out.
St. Ignatius are wearing the navy sweaters. St. Francis wearing the white sweaters, and we are underway here.
And off the draw, we'll see one.
There's a shot wide of the goal. Rebound and a score! Seth Whitney lights the lamp for the Wildcats. And they take a 1-0 lead, and that took just 10 seconds. Well, here's Connor Kinke right now. The senior looking, shooting, and scores! Connor Kinke, held without a point yesterday in the semifinal, extends St. Ignatius' lead to 2-0 here in the championship game. Puck on the far side, and Connor Kinke has it. He'll play it back behind the goal and right in. Daly throws it in front to Barrow. That one's buried, and it's 3-0 in favor of the Wildcats. And quickly the other way is Michael Boehm. Boehm wide to the right. He tries to get around Organ. Can't do it cleanly. Got the puck back, though. Shoots one. A save made by Coward. A rebound chance, and a score! St. Ignatius extending their lead to 4-0 on a rebound score from Michael Boehm, his 9th of the season. And now Tim Organ Jr. fakes the slap shot. Goes to the left. Down low, he'll roll. In front, a shot to score! Rolled it in front for Blake Storer, the senior, his 9th goal of the season. And St. Francis is on the board, trailing 4-1. The clock will count down. And the Cleveland St. Ignatius Wildcats are 2017 Ohio State Ice Hockey champions.
So congratulations to Patrick O'Rourke and the St. Ignatius Wildcats on their 5th hockey state title. Speaking of state championships, the OHSAA is going to crown a whole bunch more over the next couple weeks, and Spectrum Sports is your place to see it all. The individual wrestling tournament takes place this weekend. You can watch it live on myspectrumsports.com Saturday at 5:30. It will also air right here on Spectrum Sports starting on Wednesday morning. Then next weekend, girls basketball enters the spotlight. We'll air and stream all of the semifinals and championship games from Thursday through Saturday. We'll do the same for the boys tournament the week after. But the matter at hand right now is the Hockey State Championships. We're still trying to decide a winner. Another overtime period is on its way with Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley on the call from Nationwide Arena.
Weeknights.
Come on, you don't know.
Are for the self-proclaimed boys of truth and reason.
Hello? What, you've never been on a talk show?
At 6, Lesson Company break down the night in sports live, taking your calls and battling the ridiculous.
What? I'm just reading you what Bob is writing.
More sports and less Levine, Monday through Thursday night at 6 on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum.
There are two kind of coaches, those that have been fired and those that are going to get fired.
Here I am, I'm the big man on campus, and comes this new coach. And the first day of practice, he kicks me out.
Can you even describe what it's like to go 240 miles an hour?
Every day, there's something that happens that'll make me think about Woody Hayes.
It was a season like none other. Relentless work, unbridled passion, and competitive fire. From the fall exhibition games to the state championships and everywhere in between, Spectrum Sports covered your schools all season long. Congratulations, Moeller Crusaders, on an amazing year and state championship. Spectrum Sports, the exclusive home of the OHSAA. There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
Headed to overtime number 2 here at Nationwide Arena. In the state championship game, the St. Ignatius Wildcats and the St. Francis Knights all tied at 4 goals apiece. Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley with you, and we'll see what happens in this second overtime. In the first overtime, there was plenty of action, but nobody was able to get a score.
Couple opportunities in the middle of the ice, and it was all St. Ignatius to start the overtime. Opportunity there on the backhand. It's always a good idea in overtime just to put it on the goaltender. That might have been the best look on that short side. Here's a shot from the outside, and you can see one and done for St. Francis. A desperation play on the back check, and that led to a penalty. I thought it was a penalty shot coming, but no. And it's a minute and 18 in the box.
So that time carrying over here into this second overtime. The OHSAA Wrestling Championship Finals are taking place today at the Schottenstein Center in Columbus. You can watch them live on myspectrumsports.com at 5:30 this afternoon, or on Spectrum Sports on Wednesday, March 14th, beginning at 10 in the morning. This one's been a bit of a wrestling match back and forth. One team wrestling the lead from the other team, and the next team to lead wins the state championship.
Well, and it's been an interesting game because at times it looked like St. Francis is just being dominated, and then they push back and they come and they get the lead, and then they restore the lead. And you think that goal in the third period by Ignatius is the one that puts them over the top, but no. St. Francis tied it up late. Power play opportunity in overtime for St. Francis. Nothing happens, and now they are shorthanded. And these guys, the Wildcats, have the opportunity to start with a fresh sheet of ice. We'll see what happens. Could be interesting here. Huge opportunity.
Shots on goal through regulation in the first overtime. 41 for St. Ignatius and 31 for Toledo St. Francis. Benny Savarino, you just saw him a moment ago, the goaltender. There's Chris Varga, the head coach of the Knights.
What's happening here? Looks like
it goes to 4-on-4, so this is going to be a 4-on-3. Second overtime, you play 4-on-4. That's what Chris Varga was telling his team. Hey, it's 4-on-3.
Yeah, I thought we missed a penalty. Well, that is not the case. 4-on-3 with some great skaters. There's some players out here that can scoot up the ice, and there's one in Ben Mitchell. Of course, he's going to be out there.
So here we go, 4-on-3. Bane Kurtz wins the faceoff. Greg Langermeyer back into his own zone. And with only 7 skaters, it really opens it up. Michael McCaffrey into the St. Francis zone. Bane Kurtz out to the blue line. And oh, what a move there by Ben Mitchell. He talked about how he can skate. Langermeyer with a great check to make sure that he couldn't skate.
Yeah, smart move. Don't look at the puck on Mitchell. Look at the man, exactly what he did.
Langermeyer comes in. Backhand, forehand, score! And St. Ignatius is a 3-time state champ in a row.
What a celebration. And that is a dog pile. If I've ever seen one. And the coach, Patrick O'Rourke, started the celebration on the bench. He just broke the glass behind the bench, pulled it down onto his players. I don't know if anyone's injured over there or not. It doesn't matter. There's the glass. He chose to grab the top of that and shake, and it just cracked it right in half. And this is where he ended up, in the pile with his players. And what a goal by the defenseman. 4-on-3. They had the man advantage, and Langermeyer went all the way up the ice, talking to his players, pointing, directing traffic, and that was the end of it for the big defenseman. Yeah, can you believe it? The sophomore puts it away, and St. Ignatius are your state champs for the third time in a row.
What an ending, and it was Langermeyer that put the big hit on Mitchell. As he was trying to get a shorthanded chance, Ben Mitchell took the check right at the blue line. It was Langermeyer that gave the check, went all the way back, got the puck behind his own net, coast to coast, and finished it off for the state championship.
And when you can build speed, 5-on-5, yeah, it's hard to build speed. But when you only have 3 members of the opposition there trying to slow you down, guess what? You can really build it. And it's exactly what he did. Langermeyer all the way up and tucked it home. And that's the biggest goal of his high school hockey career, I'd say.
And this is what it looks like on the other side. Heartbreak.
Yeah, disappointment, but they should definitely hold their heads high. They've had opportunities here today to win this game. Made it to the finals, double overtime with the reigning champs. And when you come on the ice here, you're just thinking kill the penalty and go together 4-on-4, but they didn't make it that far.
Bane Kurtz, big power play goal that made it a 3-2 game at the time. St. Francis student section stunned by the way this ended today. And right now, Patrick O'Rourke is with Marissa Contepelli.
Thanks, Bob. Coach, you are just the second time to become a three-peat state champion in boys ice hockey. Had to go to a second overtime to get it this year. What emotions are running through you right now?
Everything. It was just it was a great game by both teams. Even if we were lost, I would said that they played awesome. It was back and forth. It's exactly what you want in a state championship game. Of course, I'm glad we came out on top. Langermeyer took the puck down all the way and did it himself. I coach him, and we've butted heads a few times, but he's the man. He's athletic as hell, strong as a bull, and he took it down 1 for us. And I could not be happier for all these kids, especially the seniors.
I've been told that you even broke the glass during part of the celebration.
It's gonna cost me. I got to talk to Joel. I'm sorry about that. I thought I was Spider-Man for a second, but it was just such an outpouring of emotion because the game was so intense. They played so awesome. We've had 4 years of battles with them, and I'm just shocked that we came out on top because it's so hard to do to three-peat. But these guys, I'd go to battle with them any day. They're awesome.
Every time you guys were able to find a goal tonight, St. Francis was able to respond, but in the end, yours is the one that mattered on the score sheet. What do you like? What does it say just about the perseverance of this group being resilient the entire game tonight?
Yeah, both teams were, but we were down a couple times. There were a couple times where I thought, okay, maybe we're going to get it here. Then they came back and scored. They got a lot of seniors. They have very talented, just the last 4 years, they've had awesome players. But yeah, we never give up. We talk about that a lot. We talk about family a lot today and how we're going to fight the whole game for our family, and we never gave up, and it happened quick in the second overtime. It was awesome.
Coach, you defend your state championship. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Marissa, thank you very much. I love that. I thought I was Spider-Man for a minute.
Everybody reacts differently, but it just shows his emotion and how pent up he was, wondering if they were actually going to get this done today. And
they got it done, and he did go in Spider-Man mode immediately, going to the top of the glass. And I like how he said he's got to talk to Joel Siegelman.
Yeah. Well, you know, Patrick O'Rourke is, he was a student at St. Ignatius. He leaves, he goes off to college, he comes back, he's a director of admissions, he teaches Latin. This has been his life. And he told me last night, my dad went there, so I didn't have any choice where I was going to go to high school. So when you're a lifer with a program and you have a chance to do something as special as he and his team did today, that's exactly why he gets so excited.
It was a season like none other. Relentless work, unbridled passion, and competitive fire. From the fall exhibition games to the state championships and everywhere in between, Spectrum Sports covered your schools all season long. Congratulations, Deer Park Wildcats, on an amazing year and state championship. Spectrum Sports, the exclusive home of the OHSAA. Tuesday nights are for Ohio college basketball. Spectrum Sports is teaming up with your favorite site where Ohio State fans gather. 11 Warriors Report. Join the pros from 11 Warriors as they preview the week ahead and deliver everything Scarlet and Gray fans need to know. 11 Warriors Report. Tuesday nights. Only on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision-makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
Thank you, Marissa. And the medals are being given to Toledo St. Francis Knights right now. Dr. Dan Ross will then address them. And, well, I don't know if he'll do it or somebody will do it from the OHSAA. We'll have a little speech for that team here when it's all said and done. We'll carry that for you. But, again, you know, this team, they played great today. There's Mitchell Digby. He had a big goal. Then he took a penalty that resulted in a goal the other way. But, you know, this has got to be frustrating for them. I understand, because most of these players, they've been here several times with the very same results, finishing runner-up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of emotions, and you're going to have penalties in games, and you're going to rebound, and each player that took penalties did rebound and get back out there and play hard. And you can see just by the looks on the faces of these young men that did not get the championship today. What's going through their head? Probably thinking about the seniors who will never put the jersey on again for their school. Could I have done something different? Could I have put that puck in the net? Should I have done something a little more to help these guys that worked so hard all season and worked to this point but didn't get it done? But at the same time, they should be proud because, you know, they're part of a great program, number 2 all year long. Took the number 1 to double overtime, where you don't know what's going to happen in overtime. It's a bounce, it's a penalty, it's a play that you're a part of or you're not a part of. And now, you know, they're a part of a team that comes runner-up in the state championship, part of a special group. And yeah, the seniors are probably going to take it a little harder, but you know what? They should all be very, very pleased to get to this level. And they gave it their all. They really did, emotionally and physically. They gave everything they could here today and yesterday to get here.
You know, this was a very entertaining game.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a compliment to both teams. You know, so many times you can get into a championship game and you can have one team that totally overpowers another. This was, just as you talked about before the game, your word was balance. And this one was balanced all the way through. That's why it took 2 overtimes to get it decided here today, because these teams are so evenly matched. They know each other so well, and they played that out to every extent they could today.
And that's what hurts more, is because you get to overtime and you're in there in double overtime, and you're thinking we have a real chance here. If you would have told us before the game that it's going to be one shot that decides this game between us and St. Ignatius, they would have taken that, because that's what you play for. You play to come down to the wire, and not one of these guys did anything that they shouldn't have done today. They played the game. They played it with no risk or all risk, no hesitation. And, you know, that's there's a lot to be said about that, when you can step up and leave your effort out there. So their parents are here. The school is here on both sides. Of course, there's got to be one winner, but you're disappointed in defeat, especially when it's overtime or double overtime. And you just take it and move on the bus ride home. You know what? You'll say, pretty proud of our group.
Yeah, absolutely. This, you know, to get here, it's not a given. We talk about how, you know, so these teams have met time and time again, but it's not just a punch your ticket the day the season begins. I mean, you've got to work hard just to get to this point. Again, that's why there is heartbreak. That's why there is disappointment in defeat, because of all of the work that has been put in to get to this point. So we're about to have the second place trophy presentation here on the ice at Nationwide Arena. And let's head it down to the ice where Jerry Snodgrass will make the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we present this trophy, first of all, hockey is alive and well in the state of Ohio. We should have the two best teams playing this final day. And we truly have, you witnessed one of the best games that we've seen in state championship history. Please join me for all the schools in Ohio and congratulate the others for the win today. Coach Ford, remember St. Francis and your names. I know everybody comes here to get here. It's all about winning a championship. That's what you come here for. You made 4 trips to this Final Four. But more important than that is the success, the tradition, and the journey to get here, which is so difficult to do. Another banner is going to hang up in the Tabor Shannon Arena. And that banner that hangs up there is going to reflect the success that continues. I said in front of you last year, we lost your 5 leading scorers. And I challenged the underclassmen to get you back here, because I knew you would with the leadership that you had. You got back here. And that in its own right is the measure of the success that St. Francis has. And I'm proud to stand in front of you and your school and represent all of our member schools, as well as our board of directors and our commissioner, as Mr. John Cornell presents you this winner trophy in 2018. Congratulations, guys. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have senior director, Justice Center Races, Dr. Dan Haas, OHSAA executive director, and OHSAA board of directors member, John Cornell, will present the individual awards. Now I ask that you join us in the honor of the team from Cleveland St. Ignatius as high school champions of the 2017-2018 year. Each player is requested to skate forward to receive an individual award. Assistant Athletic Director Brett Gainey will assist in the awards presentation.
So the runner-up trophy has been presented. Now the medals will be given out to St. Ignatius, and then we will watch them get their trophy presentation for their team. And again, a lot of smiles. And Jody, we talked about the fact that the St. Ignatius team, even though they've won 3 state championships in a row, they get young players every year, and the young players push. And we just saw one of them score the game-winning goal in the state title game. And that's what it's all about. It's about replenishing year after year and about having a tradition that's already established for those youngsters. Greg Langermeyer talked about that. The guys that built this program before he even got there. And that's what it's about. You come into a structured program, you already know what's expected of you, and you just go out and do your job.
Well, you talked about Patrick O'Rourke, and you got to give him a lot of credit because he went to school there. And he knows and understands tradition. And, you know, I go back to breaking the glass. I mean, this means a lot to this guy. And, you know, when you have a leader or a coach like that and the coaching staff that he's got, there's no other way to act. I mean, you got to win. They're there to win, and they demand excellence, and they do it every day. And you can tell they're impressive young men on both sides. But St. Ignatius has got one of those programs now. We saw that board just moments ago while the game was on about St. Ed's and what they've done. And, you know, there's prestige, and this is a great time for hockey in Ohio. And if you can get to go to St. Ignatius, you're part of one of the best programs, and the expectations when you come in. And I look at some of these grade point averages on some of these kids. They're smart kids, too. I mean, you got to be the full package to go there. And so the excellence they have on the ice and how they conduct themselves off the ice and in the classroom, they got a good thing going right now. So this is a special moment for their program, and they should be very proud of being the three-peat champions. I mean, you think about that in anything, any sport, there's got to be a special formula you have to follow, and they followed it here right to the end, and it was close, boy. Double overtime. As a coach, you don't know what's going to happen, but when it does, just go break the glass.
And again, this game, if you want to break it down in very simple terms, special teams is what decided it. It seemed like anytime anybody took a penalty, you better plan on giving up a goal because the other team was taking full advantage of it here today. And again, championship games, that's how it works. You get into the playoffs, your special teams gets a very high focus. And today, the power play units on both sides were terrific.
Yeah, they sure were. And, you know, I don't care what level of hockey you're at. Special teams, when they're evenly matched programs, that's where the game is won and lost. And you've seen it either way, where one team gets that power play going, the other team doesn't. And guess what? You're on the wrong end of the stick, but it was pretty even here this afternoon.
Yeah, it was very even. And again, when you look at this game, you know, just as a whole, you've got Cleveland, St. Ignatius, they're the ones driving the bus. So, you know, the best in the state right now is in Cleveland. The second best is Toledo, and there are a whole bunch of other programs and a whole bunch of other areas of the state that are trying to get caught up to these two areas and have a chance to represent their area in this championship game. But these two are the best, and that's why they're here right now.
Well, you look at what's going on here tonight with Michigan, Ohio State. I mean, there's always something to look forward to, and this is what it is for these kids at the high school level, and they've earned the right to be here, and it's been a nice display today.
All right, let's go back down onto the ice. Dr. Dan Ross is going to give this trophy presentation.
Are you proud of these Wildcats? What a tradition that you're creating on the ice. You have a tremendous tradition at Ignatius, your classroom tradition, your academic traditions, your activity traditions. You've had great traditions, but you're now starting one on ice that I imagine that there's youngsters here that are going to want to help recreate that. You were state champs in 2014, and you started a three-peat in 2016, 17, and you are good. You have been here 9 times.
And today you're going to take home your 6th state championship trophy back to West 30th Street in Cleveland. And with your 6th state championship today, you are now tied for 2nd in the all-time list of all-time hockey victories in the state of Ohio for the OHSAA. And congratulations to that. On behalf of our 821 member high schools, and I know that you are very, very proud of these young men. Let's give them one more big round of applause. Dr. Cronauer is going to present to you the 2018 Division I State Hockey Ice Championship. Watch out. They will blow you into the wall.
So there is the trophy, and the Wildcats celebration is officially on. 3 times in a row they have hoisted this trophy here at Nationwide Arena. And it is their 6th championship overall, as you just heard. And these guys will they'll enjoy the rest of their weekend for sure.
It'll be a nice bus ride back up to Cleveland today. Sunny afternoon here in Columbus, Ohio, and you get that trophy on board. Those seniors, yeah, the perfect picture. You think about that. You're in high school for what, 3 years, 4 years at the most. And if you're on this varsity hockey team and you're a part of a program like this, boy, you're really starting your adolescence off the right way as champions.
There you see the updated list. St. Ignatius and St. Ed's, the only 2 teams that have been 3-peat champions in the state. And of course, St. Edward with a lot of spots on that list. 3 spots, as a matter of fact, as you see. But St. Ignatius, you know, if it's up to them, they're never going to come out of that top spot. They want to do it again next year. And it's funny how you talk about the, you know, it's hard to win 1 championship. Twice as hard to win 2. You can hardly even think about winning 3. But by goodness, when you have a good program, it's just become what you expect.
Yeah, and the bar has been set. I like what you just said. Anytime you see a championship go down, during the celebration, they start talking about next year. So, I mean, these guys are going to enjoy it, but right, you're immediately right. To stay on top of the game, they'll get back after it and continue this success. It doesn't happen without an effort from everybody involved, and obviously the program up there in Cleveland. Everyone is involved. They're all on the same page. And the next kids to come in as the seniors move on, they understand the responsibility is going to be even greater because you got to go for 4.
Yeah, it gets tougher on every incoming class. Yeah. The final shot total was 43-31 in favor of St. Ignatius, and the final score in double overtime, St. Ignatius 5 and St. Francis 4. On March 15th through the 17th, join us for the OHSAA Girls Basketball State Tournament, followed by the boys on March 22nd through the 24th. It's all right here on Spectrum Sports, your television home for high school sports. For Jody Shelley and the entire Spectrum Sports crew, I'm Bob McElligott. What a thriller here at Nationwide Arena, where it's St. Ignatius that wins for a 3rd straight time. So long from Nationwide Arena in Columbus.
Your teams, your schools, what you live for lives here. Whether it's across town or across the region, we are the home of Ohio sports. We are Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. Tuesday nights are for Ohio college basketball. Spectrum Sports is teaming up with your favorite site where Ohio State fans gather. 11 Warriors Report. Join the pros from 11 Warriors as they preview the week ahead and deliver everything Scarlet and Gray fans need to know. 11 Warriors Report, Tuesday nights, only on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports. This city, this club stands with you.
A hat trick of stops. John scores.
What you live for lives here. Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Crew SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Saturday on Spectrum Sports. Monday night, Dave Bacon and the boys sound off, speak out, and deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
We'll talk Indians, we'll talk Browns, we'll talk some Cavs.
Get key insight and expert analysis from the most informed voices in Ohio sports.
Something is wrong with the offensive play calling.
Armchair Quarterbacks, Monday nights on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
If you know the Cincinnati Reds, then you know Marty Brennaman, the voice of the team since 1974. An institution to all who love him, Marty comes out of the booth to talk baseball and life with host Tim Bray.
Well, over the years, if you're a baseball fan, if you're a Reds fan, you have heard this man's voice. And it's a very distinct pleasure to have Marty Brennaman with us. And Marty, you've seen it all, you've done it all. How do you keep it fresh for 40 plus years?
That's a good question, Tim. It's interesting because I spent 35 minutes with Vince Scully last May, just he and I. And over the years, he and I have become pretty good friends, and in many ways, he's been a mentor to me, not to avoid your question, but to make it a point by relating the conversation he and I had. And I said, why are you going to retire? And he said, why not? He said, 67 years is enough. And I said, yeah, but you sound as good now as you sounded 25 years ago. He said, yeah, but 67 years is long enough. I've often said that of all the sports that there is to do, and I've done everything except ice hockey, baseball is the toughest one of all to do, because if there's a pure art form in our profession, baseball would be it, because nothing happens until the pitcher throws a ball. Right. And if you can't ad lib intelligently or reasonably so and cogently, then you can't do baseball. And every day for me, it's a challenge to go to the ballpark and broadcast a baseball game. And I think that is probably the biggest reason why I look forward to it. I try and stay fresh. But I also think that, in order to hang around for a while, there are a lot of things that you have to do, and there are a lot of things that you have to be. You have to be self-deprecating, which I am. You have to, I've never taken whatever success I've had too seriously, because I know how blasted fleeting it can be. I know guys in our profession who think they're bigger than the business, and the business is a reason why we're where we are. Right. And you can't ever lose sight of that. But I've been fortunate to work with people that I truly love. Joe for 31 years, and since then, Tom Brennaman and Jeff Brantley. And I've had great relationships with the people that I work with, and they have helped me to keep it fresh, and it really helped me to take, at times, a different perspective. you can't harp on every loss. Right. I'm often reminded of what Bob Knight's wife said to him one time: "The horse is dead. Stop beating it." and I remind myself consistently of that. You can't talk every night about how bad they are.
Right.
And the fan doesn't want to hear that.
No.
So you have to figure out ways to maintain interest. And I do my best Fred Astaire dance routine when things are going rough. And I think that helps to keep it fresh.
You think about how you present the game, and the one thing I think a lot of Reds fans and baseball fans believe in is that you tell stories and not just harp on all the stats. Today's world is there's so many stats.
You're right.
How do you figure that balance out between, the balls and strikes and the batting average, triples, doubles, home runs, and then the compelling story of the player?
Well, I think the now aspect of it supersedes everything. It's important, and there's no sport on earth that's more statistically oriented than baseball is.
Right.
But the bottom line at the end of the day is going into play tonight, this is what you're hitting, this is how many home runs you've hit, or if you are a singles and doubles hitter, the doubles and triples that you may have on your slash line, and how many RBIs or runs scored or stolen bases, and all the rest of that stuff. And I know granted, I've been around for 43 years, and I'm an old school guy, and I really have trouble oftentimes relating to the analytical part of the game and how it's made such an impact on the game of baseball. Most of the expressions that are used today, I don't even understand. I know a few of them: wins above replacement, that's WAR. But there ain't too many of them. And I know that there are probably young fans that wish I'd dwell more on the analytical part of it than I do anything else. But the one thing that analytics cannot do, and it never will do, and that is to tell you what's inside a guy's chest and what's between his ears. It'll never be able to do that. And I know guys that played in the big leagues and gave a very good accounting of themselves that never would have played Major League Baseball if their careers had been judged on the analytical aspect of it. And the one best example I use is Doug Flynn, who was a very important member of those Big Red Machine team. Doug Flynn would have never played a day in the big leagues if all they had done was judge his ability to play the game on the numbers aspects. And so I try to use as little of that as I possibly can, and meld the two together, for want of a better term, and hopefully it works.
You mentioned the Big Red Machine era, and that era stands alone at the top, in my estimation, as the best in baseball. Do you see that in the same light?
Yeah, but I'm prejudiced, and I tell people that all the time. I think any baseball historian or any baseball purist will readily accept the fact that those two, whatever year you want to talk, 75, 76, some people say 76 was a better team than 75. The difference is minute. One of the top 2 or 3 teams in the history of baseball. Right. They'll agree to that. And I think that's indisputable. A lot of people will tell you it's the best team that's ever been assembled. I don't know about that. From a prejudice standpoint, I'd stand in line and say, yeah, I agree with that. But people would throw up the Yankees of the 20s and even some Yankee clubs in the decade of the 90s. Right. But there's indisputable the fact that it is the last truly great team. With all due respect to whatever Yankee team people want to talk about under Joe Torre in the 90s, whatever, I still maintain that team was a team that was blessed with every single attribute that enhanced the team's chances of winning. It had everything. It had great defense, especially up the middle, which is a byword in baseball, right? With Bench and Morgan and Concepcion and Geronimo. It had vastly underrated starting pitching. The bullpen was brilliant. Offensively, maybe not by today's standards, but offensively back then, a very powerful team. A team that could steal bases. A team that was incredibly intelligent in terms of the way they played the game. And it was a team that never, ever took themselves too seriously. Right. They never got too high, when they were winning, which was most of the time. They never got too low. If they rarely, and they did, would lose 4 games in a row, they maintained a very even keel. And plus the fact they were managed by a guy who, even though he's in the Hall of Fame today, God rest his soul, was truly one of the great managers in the history of the game. And I've had people say to me, well, anybody could have managed that team. And the point I make to them, that there are things that you're not even aware of. One, you had 2 players that were not particularly in love with one another, and Johnny Bench and Pete Rose.
Right.
You had incredible egos. I mean, unbelievable egos that he was able to temper and make them understand that I don't care what your differences are off the field, when you walk across the line, you go out and play as a team. And they did that.
Right.
So I thought he was a brilliant manager. Handled a pitching staff better than any manager I've ever been associated with. A great, great team. I never forget, they swept the Yankees in '76, and in the clubhouse at Yankee Stadium after Game 4, Bob Howsam, who was the architect of that team and should be in baseball's Hall of Fame, and it's a joke that he's not, made the comment, in our lifetime we'll never see another team as great as this one again. That was in 1976.
Wow.
And for my money, as we visited in 2016, or in the closing days of this year, we have not seen a team that great. I said, Pete, you have to understand something. The landscape has changed now.
Right.
I said, there are going to be times when I have to ask you questions that are going to be very, very tough. And he said, hey, you ask me anything you want to ask me, and we'll talk about it.
It was a season like none other. Relentless work, unbridled passion, and competitive fire. From the fall exhibition games to the state championships and everywhere in between, Spectrum Sports covered your schools all season long. Congratulations, St. Vincent St. Mary Fighting Irish, on an amazing year and state championship. Spectrum Sports, the exclusive home of the OHSAA. Tuesday nights are for Ohio college basketball. Spectrum Sports is teaming up with your favorite site where Ohio State fans gather. 11 Warriors Report. Join the pros from 11 Warriors as they preview the week ahead and deliver everything Scarlet and Gray fans need to know. 11 Warriors Report. Tuesday nights. Only on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum.
There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports.
Spoke about Sparky. You've seen a lot of managers come through here. Lou is one of your best friends.
One of my all-time favorites.
I mean, you've seen the best and the worst, but those are 2 that you really cherished your relationships with.
Yeah, and also Pete.
And
Pete and Joe Morgan are the 2 best friends that I've ever had in the business, and I stay in close touch with them all the time, even today. But you know, Sparky, I've already talked about. In Lou's case, you know, Lou came from the American League, and I think when they named him manager of the club, a lot of people were surprised.
Right.
Had never spent any time in the National League, and came over here. And there's definitely a different way of managing in this league because of the absence of the designated hitter. Managers have to make double switches at times. There are guys in the American League that have no idea how to make a double switch. Today, they don't.
Even today.
And Lou sure did.
Yeah.
And he was smart enough to surround himself with National League coaches and keep his mouth shut until he learned the way to manage successfully in this league. And then he took off. But he saw in that team, when he gathered them together at Plant City in 1990, that it was a team that was very, very gifted. And he told them so. But 1990 was a team that had the greatest group of players, the greatest chemistry of any team I've ever been around. They all, whether you're white or Hispanic or African American, Everybody had everybody's back. There were no cliques on the club. Had the greatest coaching staff I've ever been around. And it was a team that just played tremendous baseball, and they played it better than anybody when they had to, and that was in the postseason.
There were some unsung heroes, if I remember correctly, on that group. I mean, a guy, am I right, Billy Bates?
Yeah.
And Joe Oliver, obviously, handled that pitching staff as well as anybody.
Correct.
And look at all of the, the egos there and the nasty boys and everything. I mean, you had to have some special people that maybe weren't the top celebrities on that team that could handle those guys.
Well, you made it. That's a good point. There were so many guys that when you talk about that team, you think immediately about the nasty boys, and then you think about Larkin, and you think about Davis and Billy Hatcher and Joe Oliver. But there were guys on that club, Luis Quinones, who was a reserve infielder, who after every win would dance naked in the clubhouse. And his favorite target was Joel Pieper, who was the traveling secretary. And Joel got to be gunshot because he knew when he walked in the clubhouse, Quinones would be down there dancing in the clubhouse buck naked. And Quinones would then, it became a game to him, he would hide. He would hide in closets. He would hide in lockers. And Joel would walk in and say, well, this is going to be one of the nights where he doesn't do it. And bang, he would jump out. He kept the team loose. Glenn Braggs was an incredible addition when he came over after the season began from Milwaukee. They just had so many guys that contributed in very, very important ways aside from the big guys. And so they were fun to be around. And of course, as time goes by, amazingly, even though Barry's in the Hall of Fame and he was a captain of the club, the nasty boys become the poster boys of that team.
Right.
And you know what? Justifiably so, because it was an interesting trio, those three guys.
That clubhouse is like the God or something. I mean,
no question.
Because you guys are, I mean, it's a long, long season. Guys have to get along. Even if they don't get along, they have to leave it in the clubhouse when they go out on the field. And you're in that same boat, aren't you?
As far as the clubhouse is concerned, that's their sanctuary. And I'll never forget Bob Howsam, when he was president and general manager of the club back in the 70s. He would call Sparky and ask him if it was okay if he came in the clubhouse.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Naturally, Sparky's never going to say, no, you can't.
Yeah, that's right.
But he realized more than any general manager I've ever been around that is their sanctuary. That is their home. And I'm not going to invade that unless, one, I'm invited in, or two, I ask permission, and that's granted. And I was very, very impressed by that.
You mentioned Pete, and you had to walk a fine line on the air.
Yeah.
Because of player manager, all the things he had handled and off the field. Did you feel a sense of pressure or anything as a broadcaster, knowing that, well, knew what you knew behind the scenes, but yet you always had to bring forth a solid effort on the air?
No, I didn't. And that was because of the relationship that he and I had. When he was a player, back in the 70s, we became very close and we socialized off the field. As well as we did with Joe Morgan, and in the worst of times, and that was when the story broke that Pete was going to meet with the commissioner over alleged gambling activities.
Right.
And I'll never forget, the club was playing a spring training game in St. Petersburg at Al Lang Field against the New York Mets, and the story had broken that morning, or the night before. And he and I did a pregame radio show like I still do today with Brian Price, even in spring training. And so I contacted Jim Ferguson, who was the media relations director at the time, and I said, Pete and I have to do the program tomorrow. And I realized, there's going to be a lot of activity. He said, Pete's coming over in a separate car. We're not riding the team bus over. He'll meet you there and you'll do the show there. I said, fine. So I'm in the third base dugout, which was a visitor's dugout. And there were media people from Sporting News, from Sports Illustrated, from the New York Times, from every conceivable, all the three major networks at the time. And he arrived, and he parked out behind the left field fence and then walked down the left field line to the third base dugout, and all these guys immediately started to descend upon him, and I'm standing there, and he threw his hands up and he said, "Guys, I'll talk to you in a few minutes. I've got to do a radio show with him." So we go into the clubhouse, and players are on the field. It's just he and I were in the training room, and before I turned the machine on, I said, "Pete, you have to understand something. The landscape has changed now."
Right.
I said, there are going to be times when I have to ask you questions that are going to be very, very tough. And he said, "Hey, you ask me anything you want to ask me, and we'll talk about it." And from that day forward, I've never been around a guy. One, he's the best interview I've ever been a part of.
Right.
Secondly, he had a tremendous sense of responsibility to the media through everything, even when he was going good. When he had the hit record, when he was the consecutive game streak in the 70s, and now it got to 40 games, and all of a sudden the interest started to center on the Reds on a daily basis. He would take care of everybody who had to have an interview daily, whether you work for NBC, CBS, ABC, whoever it was, Sports Illustrated, New York Times, or you work for a bi-weekly newspaper in Ashland, Kentucky.
Wow.
He would take care of everybody, and then would have the tunnel vision of being able to go out and concentrate on what he had to do, and that was to extend the hitting streak. I've never been around a guy like that before, ever.
The collision at home plate.
Don't like it at all.
I didn't think you did.
I said on the air, and it created a stir. I said, we are reinventing this game to be a game of sissies. And I believe that.
There is a place where dreams arise, stars are born, and greatness is made. What you live for lives here. Spectrum Sports. This city, this club stands with you.
A hat trick of stops. John scores.
What you live for lives here. Ohio's television home of Columbus Crew SC. Crew SC, Vancouver Whitecaps FC. Saturday on Spectrum Sports. Monday night, Dave Bacon and the boys sound off. Speak out and deliver the latest on your favorite teams.
We'll talk Indians, we'll talk Browns, we'll talk some Cavs.
Get key insight and expert analysis from the most informed voices in Ohio sports.
Something is wrong with the offensive play calling.
Armchair Quarterbacks. Monday nights on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum.
31 years in the booth with Joe. You guys talked about everything from the controversy to the play on the field, Pete's
tomato
record,
plants,
and I was about to say tomato plants. You talk about captivating an audience. I think that showed chemistry between you. It was amazing how it worked.
But what it also showed, Tim, and it was not preconceived. It was not, let's do this because it will enhance ourselves in the eyes of the people that listen. Everything was natural. But what it did in the most provincial city that I've ever lived in was to make people realize that we weren't any different from them.
Right.
I mean, none. And we weren't. And we are not today.
Right.
And we had fun with that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I discovered golf and tomatoes went away.
Amazing to me that when I first got to know you well, you would take a book and go to the pool on the road.
That's true.
And that was you.
That's.
And Joe would hit the golf course.
And I'd make fun of him.
Yeah, and you would.
I would.
And you would not even think about playing the game.
Never.
Now it's a passion of
Well,
yours.
it's more than that. I meet up with it. In 1995, my son Tom and my daughters Dawn and Ashley gave me a gift certificate to go out and buy a set of golf clubs and take lessons. And like Tom said, you're getting to an age now where you get off your butt and go do something. And so I did, and I was bitten bad by it. I mean, I'm not a very good player, but boy, I truly love to play. And I've been fortunate to travel all over the country and play some of the great golf courses, not only in this country, but also in Ireland and Scotland. And I just have a tremendous passion for the game. And
you're a dew sweeper, right?
I love, when we're on the road, we are.
Yeah.
And the group I play with Chris Welsh and Jeff Brantley and Jim Day, and we go out, and Rick Stowe plays with us, and we get out there at 7 o'clock in the morning,
right?
And play, and we play fast.
You're a quick one. That's
and
right.
We play very quick. I don't believe in spending 5 hours on a golf course. Go out and hit the ball and then go to the next shot. But we have a great time, and like I said, I truly love the game.
Let's talk about the game today. A lot of difference between today and 1974. Replay is one of them.
Yeah.
Love it or hate it?
I like it.
Okay.
I think it still needs to be tweaked. I read a great piece. Mike Vaccaro, who's a great baseball writer, works for the New York Post, and he wrote a piece about the little things he would do to make the game even more appealing. And one of them dealt with the instant replay, and that is you want to cut down on the downtime, and there is downtime.
Oh yeah.
You know, the old move by the manager to look back over his shoulder at the guy looking at the replay, and he's seeing it from 3 or 4 different angles, and then he'll render a decision to the manager, yes, challenge it, or no, don't. And Mike's recommendation, which is a great one, do it all in real time. Eliminate the videos in the dugout.
Okay.
If a manager sees a play that he thinks is questionable, he says to the umpire, I want to challenge that call right now. Don't wait for some guy to give you information. You challenge the call in real time, and it will amazingly speed the game up. And I agree with that. I like the replay. I agree with whoever said it, and that is the worst thing that could possibly happen would be to a World Championship 7th game of a World Series be determined by an umpire's call without benefit of a replay. That would be a worst case scenario. So the replay, I like.
Yeah, and the collision at home plate.
Don't like it at all.
I didn't think you did.
And don't like the call, the
second base.
Protection at second base.
No.
Don't like that either.
Yeah.
I said on the air, and it created a stir. I said we are reinventing this game to be a game of sissies, and I believe that. Baseball has such a knee-jerk reaction to so many things. And the plate thing was a deal. Buster Posey has his knee torn up big time. I mean, destroyed. And immediately we've got to do something to protect the catcher. And I hate to say it, but all of this stuff is being generated by the almighty dollar. Right. We've got to keep our Buster Poseys healthy.
True.
We can't let these superstars get hurt. You know what? For a million years, this game got by fine without worrying about their superstars. And I just think we're going down a path right now that is not the kind of path that baseball truly wants to travel in terms of maintaining great interest year after year after year.
Do you believe that the game is in good health, though?
The game is in great health as it exists today. I think the biggest challenge that Rob Manfred has is to figure out a way to get young people back involved in the game again. You and I are both old enough to remember that when we were kids, I would go out at 8 o'clock in the morning in the summertime and play baseball until my mother called me in to have lunch, and I'd go back after lunch and play until it got too dark.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No. But the juniors and the Larkins and the guys that have grown up in Ohio and Cincinnati,
That's right.
They all played the game from sunup to sundown.
They did.
And that's why they're where they are today in the Hall.
But you don't have that today. I mean, quite honestly, I think the game is too organized today. Back when we did what I just talked about, there was no organization.
No.
It was just
pick it up.
Pick up games, and you go out and play without any adult supervision whatsoever, and you just played the game because of the love of the game. And that's why it's a challenge for Commissioner Manfred to figure out a way to get young people back involved again.
Marty, thanks for the visit.
Oh, Tim, thank you. I appreciate it. You're an old friend.
Your teams, your schools, what you live for lives here.
The delivery with the right hand, with authority. Score drive to the hole.
Whether it's across town or across the region, we are the home of Ohio sports. We are Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum. Tuesday nights are for Ohio college basketball. Spectrum Sports is teaming up with your favorite site where Ohio State fans gather. 11 Warriors Report. Join the pros from 11 Warriors as they preview the week ahead and deliver everything Scarlet and Gray fans need to know. 11 Warriors Report. Tuesday nights. Only on Spectrum Sports. Exclusively on Spectrum. Sunday mornings at 10:30, Spectrum Sports takes an in-depth look at your community.
People are talking about it.
In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, a half-hour show that digs deeper into the issues you and your family care about. A place where decision makers come together and highlight the issues that matter to you, your community, your state, your show. In Focus with Mike Kohlmeyer, Sunday mornings at 10:30 on Spectrum Sports, exclusively on Spectrum.
For the second time in as many chances, an Ohio State basketball team was sent west for the NCAA tournament. In 2015, it was Portland. It was 2 and done. In 2018, it was Boise, and it was the same. Yet this feels a whole lot different. Whereas 2015 felt like the beginning of the end of the Thad Matta era, 2018 feels like the beginning of the Chris Holtmann era. I'm Bo Bishop, and this is the 11 Warriors Report. Before we get into where this program is going, we look back on how we got here, which means a trip to Boise last Thursday in round 1 of the NCAA tournament. Ohio State taking on South Dakota State. We had this one pegged correctly here on the show. It was a showdown of two great players in the Buckeyes, Keita Bates-Diop, and the Jackrabbits, Mike Dahm. Now, KBD, absolutely sensational. 24 points, 12 boards. Dahm with 27 and 6, but it was Cam Williams who came up biggest of all Buckeyes. As SDSU tied the game late, Williams hit a 3 and was fouled for a 4-point play, and then followed that up with 3 more free throws as he was fouled on a second 3-point attempt. The late barrage from Cam sealed the deal as the Bucks survived and advanced.
That was a road environment we were playing in. That was a road environment. And, you know, I think I popped off and said something about thanking the smart and clever journalists that picked against us, but we had a lot of people picking against us.
Before the game, Coach just told us whatever happens, just don't flinch. You know, they're going to make tough shots. They're going to get on the run, but that doesn't mean, you know, we take our foot off the pedal.
I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, like I said, I think yesterday in media, this isn't like a one-man team in any sort of way. I trust my guys. I trust Cam to shoot the shots he took and CJ to take over a game in the middle of the second half like he did. We just kind of played through each other. I get a lot of credit sometimes, but this is a team. This is a great team.
And that set the stage for the rematch with Gonzaga in round 2. The Zags swept the Bucks early in the season in Portland. And after a 15-0 start to the game, it appeared that would be the case again. But as they have done so many times this season, Chris Holtmann's team did not back down. The Bucks stood their ground, fought back. Gonzaga proved too much. Despite 28 from Bates-Diop in what is likely his final game in Scarlet and Gray, Zags moved on 90-84 the final as the Buckeyes season comes to an end.
Every year I think, hey, I'm not going to get emotional. We're gonna handle it, and it never happens. So it was emotional for all of us because you know, they put a lot of investment into this group, and they had a great time. They
a lot of fun.
It was definitely down, but we had a good ride. The seniors did an unbelievable job in leading this team and getting this team and this program back to where it needs to be.
The guys that stuck with it, when we were at the bottom, nobody really thought we would get to this point. It's just an amazing feeling, amazing accomplishment.
As we bring on our guys, Dan is here and James is here. James fresh from Boise. Let's start with you on this. You're feeling now kind of in totality of the weekend in Boise as we kind of try to put that into perspective.
It was almost exactly how we thought this weekend would go. Yeah. But it doesn't make it any less disappointing for that team. When you go down 15-0, you think, well, it was a great year, and then they fight all the way back. They take that 5-point lead with about 6 minutes to go, and you kind of let it creep into your head that they might actually do this. This team might actually still have more in the tank, but the game was kind of like a microcosm of the entire season. They get down early, not a lot of expectations. They fight all the way back. They make you have that belief that they might be able to do something really special, but in the end, they just didn't quite have the horses to keep up with a premier team like Gonzaga. But, overall, this is an unbelievable season for Ohio State. They have nothing to hang their heads about. It was really an incredible year and a great run for that senior class.
Yeah, it was. And I, you said no moral victories. You've been saying that for about a month and a half, yeah. Dan. And there are none here. I mean, I think you get down 15-0 against Gonzaga. It takes so much energy to dig out of that. Even though you do dig out of it, it's still it's burnt energy that it's hard to come back from. The start, it's almost, even if you do come back from it, it takes so much out of you.
Right. I mean, I think we saw it. They rallied. They came up with some magic. We've seen all year of his teams been able to go to that store and come up with some magic. But I think at the end it just ran out. I think at the end Gonzaga hit a couple really big shots. Ohio State just didn't quite have the answer there at the end. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. You always want more. And this team, because of the position they put themselves in, beating teams like Michigan State and Purdue in the Big Ten season, you had dreams of a Sweet 16 run, maybe even a Elite 8 run. And you look at what's happened around the rest of the tournament, all the upsets that have taken place. I mean, you can look at the bracket and say, man, if they could have beat Gonzaga, they could be playing Florida State next. Elite 8 would be very realistic, maybe even a Final Four. Who knows? This is a crazy tournament. But at the end of the day,